Dr. Juan. Paging Dr. Juan.
Bring the Jamaican horn.
Boom.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 22.
What's up?
If you guys live
Is
in the
that all
northern,
that smoke you was inhaling yesterday?
I was just gonna make a joke, but you fucked it up.
It's not a joke.
It's not a
It's
joke.
not a joke.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 22. I'm gonna put this on mute real quick.
You were supposed to do that already.
I know I failed. Episode 22, the Canadian Inferno. So they say.
Quotations.
I'm your host, Billy Prempes, some guy named Bill on Instagram.
I'm your host, Dave Herrera, not your typical politician on Instagram, and we, once again, are happy to have you guys here. We got a great show. It's honestly becoming way more difficult to condense everything we want to talk about. So much shit is happening in a week.
Yeah, and Kim just showed me a video.
We got to talk about it next week.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk about that next week.
Too much.
That video was just crazy. And it has to do with this Inferno nonsense that's going on in Canada. People are seeing random things in their backyard.
We're going to get into it, though, so don't you worry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So without further ado,
let's get right into the madness.
Let's get into it. Starting off. If you didn't know, now you know. Yesterday, there were reports of a wildfire in Canada. Is that you? You didn't turn your volume down?
That's you, bro.
Is it me?
That's
you.
you.
Again. So there's reports from a wildfire in Canada. It was apparently like a 90 million acre fire going on, and
they said it was 90 million acres.
Said 90 million acres.
90 million.
That's a lot of acres.
That's a ludicrous amount of land, bro.
It's a lot of land. And again, if you had any form of social media, everybody was talking about it, and the smoke was just filling the air, and the sky was orange, and it looked like you were driving through apocalyptic Iraq yesterday. Didn't matter where you were.
Like that movie Dune.
Yeah, man. Like some Mad Max shit was going on
I
yesterday.
saw Pyramid Head.
Yeah,
it's like Silent Hill.
Silent Hill, bro. Going on. So yesterday was actually, did you know, the worst ranked air quality in the history of the world?
Wait, in the history of the world? Like everywhere else?
Everywhere. Bro, first of all, so it was, I think it's ranked like where I think 60 is breathable, like the pollution in the air. India, which is one of the worst places in the world, is 160. Yesterday it was over 500 in the United States.
Dude, you know what's funny?
Damn, son.
You know why this is crazy to me? I remember in 2011 when I was stationed in England, there was a volcano. I think it was in Sweden. It had this long ass name, Eyjafjallajökull or some shit like that was the name.
That's pretty good. I believe you.
I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it.
I believe you
because I remember watching it like 40 times.
Okay.
But massive volcano eruption. It was disrupting airplanes, all kinds of stuff. The air quality was nowhere near as dirty as this. In fact, you could still see totally fine, and the smoke was in the air for days.
Yeah. Where's the smoke today?
Is it smoke?
Yeah. So moving on to the
forgot
next.
your hat today,
No,
man.
no. We're getting there. We're warming people up,
Yes,
bro. We don't
yes.
want to scare people immediately going right into it.
Speaking of warming up, since we just started, if you're on the live stream, it's your first time tuning in, share the live stream.
Yep.
Share with your friends and family. They're probably going to shadow ban you like they're shadow banning us, but that's why we're on Rumble and not anywhere else.
If you ain't
Help
getting
us get the
shadow
word out.
banned, you ain't doing it right.
Exactly. In fact, we probably got banned on Twitch.
We
I'm
know we
not
did.
certain.
It's not probably.
We
We
totally
did.
did, right?
100%.
We 100%.
That's
you
why
just
we
checked?
had technical difficulties. We were trying to set it up at 8 o'clock. We've been really
Right.
good.
Yeah, we've been ready.
And all of a sudden, it was not letting us stream, so we had to log out, remove Twitch from the stream, and then it was able to log back in.
Thank
So
you, Twitch.
shout out to Twitch. It's just telling us, listen, it's not happening to us. It's happening for us to just be on Rumble, streaming to the people that want to see us, not getting censored or banned or being told that we're not doing what we need to do. So screw Twitch.
Yeah. And we also just started a new channel on Instagram as well, too. So if you guys are following us on Instagram, you can go on there. And you can see all of our live updates as well, which is interesting because we set it up and within the
like
first
24 hours. It's
Bro,
been,
not even.
It's been like 18 hours.
Yeah,
maybe.
not even. And we've already got like 310 people in there. We're gonna post.
Shout out to those 310 people.
Yes, thank you.
You guys are tremendous.
Thank you. We're gonna post that stream in our story again. Post that link in our story again, so you guys can join into that.
So I wanted to talk about this, right? Because Billy took my thunder, but you owed me because I killed your joke earlier.
It's all good.
So we're talking about this smoke from Canada, these Canadian wildfires, dangerous air quality. So I'm trying to get the show together, and I'm trying to look up these Canadian fires. Like, I want pictures. Like, I haven't seen anything.
Right.
So I Google search it, and the only thing that comes up when you type in Canadian wildfire is New York air pollution.
Right.
Right? How New York, right? Let's not forget the fact that there's a whole bunch of other states in this vicinity. The only thing that comes up when you type in Canadian wildfire is New York air supply. It's not Canadian firefighters battle this blaze. It's not people in Canada evacuate for safety. It's not the air quality of fucking Quebec. It's New York, New Jersey. Terrible. Tremendous. So now I'm going and I find this Canadian website. Go to the next slide. This is from Canada's government, right? And it is a Natural Resource of Canada interactive map for wildfire trackings. Now, this is from yesterday, which apparently there's a 90 million acre blaze going on. And what do you notice about this map, Billy?
It looks pretty calm to me.
There's no fire.
Nowhere.
There's no fire on the map. So I don't have a tinfoil hat today. I got a tinfoil bandana.
You got a
It's
tindana.
lined on the inside like Trident layers. That's just got aluminum
Doing
foil.
that in like grammar school.
Yeah,
Put 'em on your-
you make gold teeth.
Hey, yo.
You're like, yo, there is aluminum on the inside of this. Now I'm going to come out and say it because I just don't care anymore, right? I do not believe that there was an actual forest fire.
At this point, no way. There's
Okay.
no way.
Also, Snapchat, Matt, did not show anything, right? I'm not saying Snapchat's a force of news, but like let's just use the logical explanation to figure out this. Now roll with me, Billy. There was a fire in Canada.
Right.
There's not a single news story from any Canadian news outlets, social media platforms, anything talking about a fire. The only thing I see is New York. Follow me down the road. We go on Snapchat. And again, you can go on the map and you can see where people post things. Now, you want me to believe, and be like, well, Snapchat's not real. Okay, I got probably 200 people on Snapchat, and every single one of these people posted photos of cloudy skies and the sun yesterday.
Right.
There's not a thing that happens in this world that people don't put on social
Right,
media.
right.
So if there was a 90 million acre blaze
You would
and not
know,
a single
dude.
person posted a fire.
You would know.
But now let's go a little deeper. Tinfoil bandana time.
Okay.
There was 30,000 tons of what the hell is that
No, it
chemical?
was 60,000 tons. We
60,000
talked about
tons.
that last 2 weeks ago.
That went missing off a train.
Right.
It's what the hell? It's chlorophyll. Whatever. Messing up my rant here, but the point is, it went missing.
Right.
And when that chemical burns, it turns orange.
Huh.
Now, what color was the smoke?
It looked
Orange.
I thought it was a phone filter.
It was a foam filter. It was just for the liberals to be like, it's a Trump fire. It's the worst. But again, so Canadian news coverage is not talking about this fire. There's not a single video clip of actual fire being fought. No outlets or social media from Canada is talking about it. The only thing that you can find is New York air pollution problems. Then you go on the Canadian map. There's nothing that shows a fire happening. 60,000 tons of a chemical that burns orange when you light it went missing 2 weeks ago. And here we are now Where a couple months ago we had to worry about the train derailment in Ohio
Right,
and the water being a problem.
Right.
Now we have to worry about the air being a problem. On top of the fact that they don't want us to pay attention, that we have to worry about the food being a problem
Right.
with Monsanto's and Bill Gates trying to inject everything but a microchip in our cheeseburgers. And you want me to believe that this was a real fire?
I think you need help, Dave. You sound like a conspiracy theorist right now.
I
think,
take it at this point.
I think you've been going down
At
the
this
rabbit
point-
hole a little too much. You're going
You,
like
you
rabbit fur
disagree?
on you.
You digress?
Hell no, I don't disagree. I'm
Digress.
100% with you, bro.
I think it would be easier for you to find a photo of Michelle Obama pregnant than it would be to find this wildfire. And you want to know the truth? Is neither of them exist.
Oh.
Big Mike?
Big Mike.
Big Mike?
That's
That's a whole nother
that's another
conspiracy.
rabbit hole we can go down. We'll talk about that on another.
Big
we'll-
Mike?
We'll talk about that on another episode because we can talk.
Yo,
about
I
that for
did
quite some
back
time.
day today, bro, and all I thought about was Michelle. I want
Yeah?
lats like Mike.
Damn.
Mike Obama, bro.
One day,
You know she beat up Barack,
One
bro.
day.
He just like he get
past gay marriage.
yeah, you go get beat. Hell yeah. So again, you can tell me I'm crazy, but I don't trust anything that's been going on as of late. And why hasn't this been coverage? You know what I mean? Think about it, dude. We had anytime there's a storm warning,
Right.
or a snow flurry, it's covered 24 hours a day. Get your bread, get your
They
milk.
barely talked about this. Other than
There's
look at
not
the
a
sky.
single video. There's not a single picture, like of a fire. And then I saw another video deeper down the rabbit hole, and it was an aerial shot of Quebec, and all these
Right.
smokestacks started to come up at the exact same time in different locations. And again, not a single person from Quebec posted a photo of a fire, but everybody I know from East Brunswick, New Jersey, took photos of the fucking sky in the sun.
I really wish we put some of those clips we saw on TikTok earlier of the people in Quebec that are like, hey, listen, man,
Yeah.
there's no fire going on.
We saw
over
that
here.
TikTok.
Everything looks nice and clean. We can breathe the air nice and fine. Nothing's happening.
Yeah.
But they're showing us on television the whole thing's ablaze.
I think this is all a bigger part of a push to move people into those 15-minute cities.
You know, now that you touch on that, bro, I got to just take
Go
a
ahead.
little, take a
Please
little
do.
bit of a sidebar
Let's
here,
go.
yo.
We love sidebars.
So last week, right, me and my girlfriend, we went to the Metropolitan Republican Club
okay,
to go
yeah.
watch the new film.
I was like, thanks for the invite.
I thought you knew.
No, I don't get invited to these things.
Dave, that's not true.
son.
I don't.
Listen, man, we're going to Excision concert on Sunday. It'll be fine.
Hey, you're gonna be so lit.
It'll be
Wait for
lit.
the snaps of me and Billy in a mosh pit.
That's gonna be lit.
Sheesh.
Yeah, man, that'll be lit. But we went to go see. We went to go see the Great Awakening 3. I mean, the Plandemic 3.
How
Great
was it?
Awakening, right, bro? I've seen hundreds of documentaries, right,
Mm.
and that's like my favorite genre of film. Easily, hands down, the greatest documentary I've ever
Now,
seen in my whole
for
life.
for
bro.
me included, and I'm just gonna say, but for those at the home that don't know, how can I watch this?
So you can actually watch it on Rumble. Hey,
Really?
Yeah, it's actually for free. It's for free on Rumble right now. Shout out to Rumble for waking the people up, man.
Yo, I like
This
Rumble.
documentary, bro, it did such an amazing job at breaking down how the United States is slowly shifting into communism and how it started as far back as the late 1950s, early 60s, right? And one of the way the documentary started is like they very briefly touched on COVID, right? You would expect the documentary to be all about
Well, it's
COVID.
called the pandemic.
I know,
Right.
but the documentary focuses a lot more on the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab,
Leading up to the pandemic,
correct.
probably. Yeah.
And one of the number one people that they pointed out as being the poster boy for trying to bring about this new world order, if you want to call it that, is Justin Trudeau. And they talk about how he was cracking down on people's rights, shutting down people's bank accounts, seizing their assets, and doing all kinds of tyrannical
People forget
things.
about the truck drivers. man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when I was watching the documentary, I was like, "That's right, that happened.
That was a big deal.
That totally happened,
they
bro."
were about it.
Bro, so if something like this did happen,
Mm.
a fire, right? Which I don't believe it's a fire.
A fire. Well, something was burning.
Well, so they say.
Yeah.
If anybody were to go and do this,
Mm.
I don't see why Justin Trudeau wouldn't be a part of that and say, "Hey, I'm 100% on board with that
Yeah.
plan."
And you
He's
want to
been
know?
on board with everything else that's gone against humanity at this point.
So, how long is this documentary? It's like an hour.
It's an hour and 57 minutes.
But good watch. Good watch.
Oh my God,
right.
bro!
I'm gonna check it
It's
out.
the first movie that's made me cry in years, bro. It's that good.
Clearly, you
It
haven't
is-
watched Marley and Me lately.
Damn,
Listen,
son.
man, I'm talking about real world shit,
Bro,
because
have
the
you ever had your dog die?
many times I put my dog down last year. Sadly, rest in peace,
you-
AC. Shout out to
It's
AC.
hard, bro.
Yeah,
It's hard. It just hits the.
Yeah, man.
Actually, I saw the Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I cried.
You're a
bunch.
bitch.
Oh yeah,
Bro,
I've seen it too.
Did
bro.
you cry a little?
Nah, I didn't.
Yo,
cry,
shut
nah.
the fuck up.
Ah,
You
loser.
lying,
I actually
bro.
wanted him to die.
Lying.
This man is a dork.
I don't care.
But the documentary is incredible, man.
Yeah.
And the part that really got me was, I don't know if you remember, but back in like 2010 in China, there was this group, this religious group called Falun Gong. and the Chinese were like cracking down on them, sending them to re-education camps and stuff like that. And
Okay.
some of these members of the Falun Gong that escaped China and came to the United States, they're telling their story about like how the Chinese cracked down on them, and then they show on screen just how bad China was cracking down on the people. Some clips that like I've never even seen before, where they're like pulling people out of their houses, beating the crap out of them. And Joe Biden, Justin Trudeau, all these World Economic Forum type asshats are all praising China.
What's
and
the Klaus
CCP for what
Schwab
they've
thing you
done.
say all the time?
Klaus Schwab, you will own nothing and you will be happy.
It's a part of a bigger picture.
Exactly. We
Right.
will poison everything and we will give you what to eat.
Right. I agree, because I think, like you said, you don't need to talk. COVID was the cherry on top for
Yep.
them just being able to control you, for them being able to gauge. And here's the thing that bothers me the most is like you literally can present all of this to people in a logical thing like, Joe, just question for yourself. And it seems to be that the more that you try to just show people the truth, the harder they dig their heels in and resist. The harder that they try to push back and tell you that you're the crazy one. And it's like, am I crazy? Right? You know, there's that comedian that's like, he's like, you don't believe in any conspiracy theories? Like, I can understand not all of them, not most of them, but any? He's like, you just think the government out here batting 1,000, telling the whole truth?
There's no
like,
way.
no. And you know what? And I'll say this because, like, I was talking about this with my mom, and for those people that'll be like, well, it smelled like a campfire. It had to be a forest fire. This smells like peach mango watermelon.
Hit that shit. Hit that shit. Hey.
And I can guarantee you there ain't not a bit of peach, not a bit of mango, not a bit of watermelon in there.
But
We
it
were talking
tastes
about
like
this.
it, though.
We got air fresheners that smell like pine woods after you take a doo-doo.
Definitely not in
and
the
there's
woods.
no woods up in there. So if you want to believe that they couldn't make a burning chemical smell like something else, like, come on now.
Yeah.
You know, let's be realistic. And again, I think there's something else, and I said this, and I didn't post it online, but something like that was happening. I had the question in my head of, what's happening today that they don't want us to pay attention to?
Does that bring us to our next story?
Like, brings us to every other story that's going on.
There's
here.
a lot of stuff going
But
on right now, honestly.
speaking of Justin Trudeau, right?
Wait, hold on. Before we start,
Oh, who we
bro,
shouting out? Let's
I
go.
want to give a big shout out to 69 viewers on Rumble.
I'm seeing 72. But shout out to everybody that's
Let's
on it.
go.
All 72 of you, take this live stream, share with your friends and your family. Tell them to tune in.
73, because I'm watching now. We're just getting these numbers up, dog. Let's go.
Share the live stream, everybody.
Yeah.
Get everybody on board. We're trying to revive America, revive the minds, trying to get people ready to be prepared for what is coming.
Sure.
No.
So, I'm Cuban, and I've always wanted to go there, but it's not the easiest place to travel.
Yeah.
And you know, like
My homie almost got stuck
see,
there, bro.
I'm Cuban in America, but in Cuba, I'm white. Like, you're not Cuban.
Yeah.
Right? I can't
Go
hang
over
with
there.
these people. Yeah, get out of here.
Out.
China and Cuba have come to an agreement, basically, where they are going to build a $1 billion spy base, which is nearly, for those of you that don't know, it's less than 100 miles from the coast of Florida.
Right.
In the letter obtained by Fox News, the committee states that between the U.S. Chinese Communist Party, wrote the Secretary of Defense to express his profound concern regarding several reports confirming that the Communist Party of China and the murderous Castro regime in Cuba have agreed to establish an espionage base 90 miles off the coast. Now,
That's
while
not that
this
far, man.
it's not far, but let me just say something here. While this sucks, because this is going to just forever continue to drag on this embargo for the Cuban people.
Right.
And, you know, screw the Cuban government. They're horrible people. But the Cuban people are the ones who suffer.
Yeah.
They're the ones who are not able to thrive economically. I mean, think about it. How many people go to Jamaica? How many people go to the Bahamas every single year and spend hundreds of millions of dollars in those countries? You don't think Cuba, after being closed to the general public for 4 decades, would thrive and prosper, right? So my heart goes out to the people of Cuba that aren't able to continue thriving, right, and live their own dreams, have restaurants that people could come in and eat and open their own, you know, spots. But this, you know what, while this is supposed to be big news, bro, for those of you that don't know, China's building spy facilities in America.
Right.
They are one of the biggest landowners in our country.
That's
the
insane.
the Communist Chinese Party, right? So when people are like, they're building a base off Cuba, bro, they building a base in Montana. You worried about Cuba? They here. You know what I mean? It's like you're paying attention to this, but they're already here. They're already working with the Monsantoses. They're already working with the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Gateses of the world. They're on mainland. So 90 miles don't mean nothing when they're literally an I-80 drive away from us right now.
Shout out to Darkona, you piece of shit.
Yeah, where the fuck did that come from? Oh, man.
Just had to say that.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Next.
Holy shit.
All right.
Speaking of pieces of shit,
Right.
Mike Pence decided to just pull his name out of a hat and decide he was going to run. Just out of nowhere. We're talking about Cuba. It's
to, bro.
okay.
I just had to, bro.
Oh, my goodness.
Fuck you.
Wow.
All right.
Mike Pence decides he's going to come out and run for president. Now,
But hang on, pause for a second. Did I not say that this was gonna happen?
you did.
I
You
called,
did.
bro. I've been
You
calling
did.
this since early 2021. That all this shit that's happening after January 6th and everything like that. Mark my words, they're gonna try and set this guy to go in there.
The fly that landed on Mike Pence's head has a better chance of winning than Mike Pence.
At least they remember the fly.
I remember the fly. Flies are attracted to shit.
There you go.
Next slide, because we're going to tie it all together. Chris Christie, you know, the guy that closed the beach and then sat on the beach in a lawn chair. That guy,
Bro,
running for president.
You know the funniest thing is I believe it was 2 nights ago. It was the primary night for the assembly races here in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And we had News 12 on the television, and all they kept talking was John Bramnick on there nonstop talking about Chris Christie and the race, and Chris Christie's going to run. And I'm like, yo, this guy bombed spectacularly. I don't even think he got past double digits, did he? He got like 8% top?
Christie?
Christie, yeah.
I mean, look, Christie, didn't he run? He tried in 2012.
Yes,
He ran,
I forgot
and-
he did that,
Yes,
yeah.
he ran, and he did not make it very far. And that's when he was still relevant as like
Yeah.
a governor. Now, like, again, you have pissed off most of the independents because, like, you literally sucked Donald Trump dry during his campaign and presidency. And then when he lost in 2022, you became a pudgy pundit on CBS and decided to shit on him. So you lost the Republican vote. So, like, and the Democrats don't like you.
Right.
So what are you doing? So this,
Independents don't really like
so
him either.
these are not major stories. These are distractions. And here's my theory on the things. Mike Pence, you have zero. I think Mike Pence polls actually the lowest. I think this is great news for Chris Christie and Nikki Haley and that other Indian guy that wants
Vivek?
to. Yeah,
Vivek would actually probably do pretty good.
right. But that's great because now they know there's no shot in hell they finish last because that's Mike
Right,
Pence.
right.
Mike Pence dead last. Mark my words. Mike Pence is dead last.
I don't know. I think
No.
Christie could probably
No. Again, Christie at least had. Christie was a decent governor.
I
in
know,
the beginning.
I know. He wasn't a bad
He was
governor.
a liked
Right.
guy. I liked him.
Liked
Liked him.
keyword.
Yeah, I'm over it. Time is up. You know what I mean? But Mike Pence, you have zero clout in the Republican Party. There's people on the extreme right that do not fuck with you because of what you did. There's people in the middle that do not like you because of what you did. And the left doesn't like you because you're like a straight up like, if you even miss your period 2 days after, there's no abortion. Like the left will not fuck with you either.
No.
So you have no base. Who's your base? The never Trumpers? Well, they'll vote for DeSantis.
That's true.
Right?
That's
the
actually
never
true.
DeSantises, they'll vote for Haley or Tim Scott.
Right.
Right? So you really don't have a chance. But here's my theory. My theory is that they are going to continue to saturate this race, much like they did to Phil Rizzo's race, in hopes to get Trump under 50%, in hopes that they could split up enough Trump voters and hopefully get DeSantis closer to him.
Yeah.
Because if it's just Trump DeSantis, it's a blowout. It's not even, it's a massacre.
Yeah.
Right? It's Conor McGregor versus a kid in a wheelchair. It's a smackdown. But if you start lining this up with some other names that, again, I don't think they're going to do big numbers. I don't even think they'll do double digits. But if you can get Pence to get 3 or 4,
I think
Christie
Vivek
to
can-
get
I think
7.
I think realistically he can get at least 25-30%, bro. Honestly.
Okay, so now add
'Cause
that in.
I like what the guy says. I
with-
think he's got a shot.
But you add that in with the Nikki Haley's and the Tim Scotts, the Ron DeSantis's.
Yeah.
You start to take away from the potential of Trump having such a pull-out victory. And then is there runoffs when it comes to presidential candidates?
No.
You just
No,
have to
not-
have the
not that I'm
majority?
aware of. Not that I'm aware
Okay.
of.
So, but I think that this is their hope because I don't think they believe, the GOP, I'm saying, believes that DeSantis can beat Trump in a one-on-one.
He can't.
So loading up the field, you might take some away because there's people who are going to vote for Trump that aren't huge fans of him, but they're like, well, what else am I supposed to do? Who else am I supposed to vote for? Throw in a Mike Pence, throw in a Nikki Haley, throw in a Chris Christie. Maybe I have some options. Maybe I pull away.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I don't care what anybody says. Is this Trump versus Biden? There's really no other options. This primary, DeSantis doing all this shit. It's fun. It ain't going
wait
anywhere.
till we go further in the story,
Yeah.
man, because boy, did he drop the ball.
But he is not going anywhere. It's going to be Trump, whether you like this or not, whether you tell me I'm a Trumper or not. That's the reality of the facts. Trump is the only candidate. He's going to win. Doesn't matter what you throw at the guy.
He is what it is.
It is what it is. Moving on. Oh, go ahead. Speaking of Trump.
Yes. Prosecutors ready to ask for indictment on obstruction and espionage act charges. The Independent has learned that prosecutors are prepared to ask grand jurors to vote on charges as early as Thursday. So they're still trying to put Trump in cuffs, and I bet you Whoopi Goldberg is salivating right now, like, oh my God, we got him now.
we got bombshell.
Bombshell. Breaking news: Donald Trump did something. Listen, man, I still think that even if Trump does get locked up, if he does get locked up, he's going to win.
But
he's going to win without a doubt.
Do you know what these charges are?
Are they talking about the classified
Go
documents?
to
that
the
took,
next
supposed
slide.
recording? Is that what it is?
Yeah. So this is basically the Department of Justice is preparing to ask Washington, D.C. to indict former president for violating the Espionage Act and obstruction of justice as soon as Thursday, adding further weight to legal baggages facing Mr. Trump. They basically are using U.S. Criminal Code Section 793. The U.S. Section 93, which does not make reference to classified information, is understood to be a strategic decision by prosecutors that has been made to short-circuit, right? Look, they know this isn't a rule. They're just hoping that it jams him up. Trump's ability to claim that he used his authority as president to declassify this information. So the U.S. Criminal Code prohibits gathering, transmitting, or losing any information respect to national defense, classified or not. So they're basically like, they came to Trump after a few years and were like, where's this paper? And he's like, and they're like, I don't know. They're like, espionage.
Bombshell.
We've got him now.
Juan, drop the bomb. It's a bombshell.
Breaking news. Are you sitting down?
Are you sitting?
Do you have your mask over your face and eyes?
Right?
'Cause we can't show you what's really happening. It's so stupid. But why is that happening? Go to the next slide.
It just gets deeper and deeper.
Oh,
Remember this?
Remember last week how we were telling you the FBI didn't want to give the Congress a document that might have stated that Joe Biden and Hunter were involved in some sort of scheme where they got $5 million potentially from a foreign national? Well,
Potentially, no, they got it.
it turns out after reading this document that Joe Biden was paid $5 million
Yep.
from Burisma Executive. Now, Billy, remind me, who worked at Burisma?
Crack pipe Hunter?
Hunter Biden worked at Burisma?
No. Crack pipe Hunter.
Crackpipe Hunter, who's Joe Biden's son, right?
Correct.
He worked at Burisma.
Yeah, and remember Joe Biden, he got in front of the Council of Foreign Relations live on television. I believe it was episode 12, where I showed the video of Joe Biden
You mean
saying,
the video where he said if you don't fire the prosecutor, you're not getting the defense money?
that's what I'm talking about. The
No.
defense money that the defense money that Barack Obama was giving over to the Ukraine.
These can't all coincide, can they?
No, it can't, because Joe Biden can do no harm.
No. Sleepy sandbag Joe.
He's the best president in the world.
Come
best.
on. So let me get this straight. Trump got to go to jail because he can't find where he put his paperwork from 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But Joey fired a prosecutor after getting his son a job at Burisma. Well, by the way, for the people at home, did he have extensive backgrounds in energy consulting?
He knew how to use fire and burn crack.
I mean, that's
And
a
it
start.
gave him power.
That's a start.
And he documented it all on his laptop.
That along with his wiener.
That's a lot of power. Big power.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
You can have straight up level 4 dementia. You can't walk, you can't talk, you can't
But hang
stand.
tight, you're also forgetting something. Remember,
what happened?
they're trying to get Donald Trump on these documents. But remember, on multiple occasions, Joe Biden had declassified documents.
No.
saying-
He had classified.
Oh, they were classified.
They were not even declassified.
Excuse me, let's redact what I just said, because that's classified. He had classified documents, multiple
Also,
batches of classified
you're
documents.
missing a super, super important piece.
Break it down.
Trump was the president.
Ah.
Joe Biden was the vice president.
This is true.
The vice president does not have clearance to have classified information or declassified information the way a president would.
Let alone the power to strong arm a foreign sovereign government
But hey-
to fire their prosecutor so they can stop looking into his crackhead son.
It's not like they were on the street. It's in a locked garage next to
Yeah.
a Corvette.
I protected it.
You dummy. boy.
Shut up, boy. We gotta get a soundbite of that.
Jesus, oh my. But they all want Trump to not run in 2024. Now, in the midst of all this, is that where we're going?
Oh, yes. And I'm glad
Are
the
we
video
missing?
finally
Are you
loaded up.
sure we're here?
Yeah, we're here.
Oh.
Yeah, I just hit next. And
Oh,
we're here.
We're here.
Oh, because I thought we had the Trump plan coming up. I thought that was supposed
Did
to
I
be
put
next.
that before?
It might be.
Oh, no, that's next. That comes
Okay,
next. That comes
well-
next. Yes.
Well, another thing going on. Go ahead. Take
Ryan
this away.
Fournier, he posted an exclusive undercover video of Nancy Pelosi's daughter discussing how the January 6ers did not get a fair D.C. trial. The media has overhyped it, and it wasn't an actual insurrection. It was a sham. Press play.
Press play.
Let's do it.
Do it.
Local media every day, you can't have a fair trial.
Well, the reason, see, I think time is going to remember January 6th differently. Right now, people are still in the heat of them. There's two things. Media needs stuff to fill. I mean, if you watch TV on January 6th, it was like January 6th, 24/7. As time goes on, it's going to be less.
Yeah.
And so I think also people are going to lose their office, the jobs. The people that were there are going to lose their jobs. So it's not going to mean anything if you weren't even there and you don't even care.
We need like a word breakout.
Yeah, no, it's right, you know. Okay, I thank you for your time.
Oh, absolutely.
Listen, I really, I know you're not the bad guy. I mean, if there is, I haven't found the bad guy yet, but if there is, I know you're
What
not
if
the
the
bad
guy
guy.
with the eye patch? I mean, he's like a stereotypical bad guy.
But the thing is, why I asked you the question of like, so what was the plan? Is that if there was an
I ain't
insurrection,
mad, bro.
you were supposed to be in line marching. You're in the military, you know
Right.
this.
No, that's
You were
what
supposed to have a plan.
Exactly. It's
But
called
then you're
operations
saying,
order. You sit down
like-
overnight with your soldiers. You go
Right.
over. All right, you're gonna go here. You're gonna go in by this side. At this time, we're gonna take over this. There was none of
If
that.
there was an insurrection, it's the sorriest insurrection in
It's
the
the worst.
20th, 21st century ever. No guns,
A
no
guy-
plan,
A guy,
people taking selfies.
a guy smoking pot.
I love the guy.
Yeah, like.
Well, we did that. We just went to New
Oh,
Hampshire
oh,
last week for the guy that just was drinking beer,
Well, my
wine.
favorite guy.
So ridiculous, bro.
Remember that guy who lit the blunt in Nancy Pelosi's room?
I mean, baller, but you in prison now. So, I mean, how baller was it?
That's kind of
Like,
stupid.
I mean, that's a dope Instagram pic, but they took it down.
You should have just left it. You're already in jail. Screw it.
Yeah,
You're already going down.
you're done. So again, now Nancy Marble Mouse, Nancy Pelosi.
She lips just like her mom.
Nancy Pelosi, it's because your daughter has fetal alcohol syndrome.
Fetal alcohol.
Fetal alcohol
Fucked up.
syndrome.
That's fucked up.
Fetal alcohol syndrome. And the dad was head over the head with a candlestick.
Oh yeah, that's right. He gave him a hammer by the gay guy. That's crazy.
He opened the door. Hello.
I'm just having margaritas.
I've never thought, but anyway, it's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, no, that slide was supposed to come after. But don't you think it's weird that even the people who are out there, this is a travesty on America. Nancy Pelosi sounds like drunk Lady Trump. This is the worst thing that's ever happened. Believe me. To the democracy. Believe me. You ever notice her pearls get bigger and bigger? Like the older she gets, it's like a rite of passage. Like in Africa where they put the hoops in the lip type of shit.
least it looks
but
nice.
her pearls get bigger. So they know it's fake. They know it's phony. They know it's a sham, and they're going to keep trying to ramp it up because nobody cares anymore.
Right.
Right? They're fucking creating fake forest fires, and I'm supposed to be concerned because someone lit a blunt at Nancy's desk.
I don't care, bro.
Remember the guy who took a shit on her desk?
That guy's an asshole. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of fucked up. That's
kinda
nasty,
fun.
bro.
It's nasty, but
It's nasty. You know what? That reminds me of something somebody did in 8th. Yo, Juan, remember that? Remember back in the day when Ungi and them broke into School 18 and they shit in Miss Mena's desk?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah,
That reminds me of, bro. That's
Jesus.
disgusting. We were in class. She opens the drawer, like, because like, they freaking graffiti the whole place and everything. She's like, these scumbags. She opens her desk and piss goes all over her dress. Disgusting. But that's what that reminded me of. That wasn't a very nice
Jeez.
thing to do.
that's a lot.
Yeah, they kind of went in. So I don't really agree with the whole pooping on the desk thing.
Do not poop on the desk. All right, so moving on. This is where I thought we were supposed to go next.
Right. Well, no, I figured that Pelosi was a little bit important to show that first.
No.
before-
So all this going on, right? I'm trying to verify my Rumble here because I want to be able to get in the chat with everybody.
Big shout outs to everybody in the chat right now.
Whoa. 73 people tuned in right now.
73 people, man.
So Trump has started Agenda 47. Is that what he's calling it? Agenda 47?
Agenda 47. Well, he's going to be the 47th president.
Ah, okay. So
I
that makes
like
sense,
that,
'cause
right?
I'm
You
thinking like
like
Agenda
that.
21, Agenda 30. I'm like, what are you doing here, bro? But Trump Agenda 47 item: federal government must investigate unexplained, alarming rise in autism, infertility, allergies, and obesity. Former President Trump took a page out of RFK Jr.'s wheelhouse, and that's probably why he's doing that. But then again, I still support it regardless. Wheelhouse in the latest Agenda 47 campaign platform, calling for a long overdue conversation about the alarming rise in chronic childhood illness, infertility, allergies, and obesity. Infertility is probably one of the number one things that concerns the hell out of me in the United States, bro, because the population is getting decreased while we're being replaced by a bunch of people that don't give a shit about this country.
Especially,
and Americans aren't having kids when they should be having kids at this point.
Well, you've got a whole bunch of problems with the reason why people aren't having kids. Number one, you've got a lot of the people like where I think sometimes of like, do I really want to bring a kid into this world? And then you talk about like a Charlie Kirk brought up that this is the gayest generation ever.
There's
right?
even
One in five.
Fact.
1 in 5, and again, not hating, but 1 in 5 Americans are gay. So you have 25% of them not going to have kids, right? Because you biologically can't. I don't care what some people will say. You biologically can't. You have people that don't want to have kids because they think the world is screwed up, which I understand that's probably another 10, 15%. Then you have people who economically can't afford it. I mean, people were moving out when they were our parents' ages at 20, 23 years old. Now it's a lot easier to stay at home. It's too expensive to live on your own. So I think this is huge. That yes, the infertility. Now let's talk about the experimental vaccine that everybody took. We don't know the numbers for that.
It's concerning. For all we know, that's making people impotent. I don't know. We don't know.
It could.
There hasn't even been any long-term studies on this damn thing yet,
Not
so
to
we
mention
don't
all
know.
the shit that they put in our foods that start to take away a lot of the hormones that we need in order to produce, right? But I think this is a big thing, right? We want to take Trump down because here's the facts. Trump 2024 is a dangerous man. Now, I don't mean in a
another insurrection.
right? Which Nancy Pelosi's daughter said was the sorriest insurrection ever. But Trump 2024 is a dangerous man, and I say that because in 2016 Trump ran, but he wanted to win again in 2020. So he needed to say and do a certain things to get elected. Trump wins in 2024, and I truly believe Trump wins in 2024.
Yeah.
He doesn't have another term. He doesn't need to suck up to constituents or say the things that people want to hear to get reelected. He's got 4 years and he is done. And if you don't think that scares the deep state more than anybody will admit, you are wrong. So we're going to expose the reason why childhood autism is up. We're going to expose the fact that childhood obesity is up. We should talk about the fact that suicide and depression is up. We should talk about the fact that there's infertility, the fact that allergies are spiking. I didn't have allergies until 5 years ago. Now I walk outside and I've been assaulted like 6'9" in an LA Fitness. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, chill, man. Like, bro, what happened? You know what I mean? Orale. Like, I don't know what's going on. But that Trump 2024 is a dangerous man because he's got nothing to lose.
True. Kind of like Phil Murphy right now, man. Nothing to lose, and he's wrecking our freaking state.
Yeah. I like Trump 2024. That's a bad mamma jamma, Rick James voice.
I'm with that.
Right? So, what do we got next, Juan? Oh, man.
Oh, good
Oh,
news.
no.
The Clinton,
so sad.
The Clinton News Network chairman and CEO Chris Licht is out after a brief and tumultuous tenure.
What happened? Nobody watched your show?
To be honest, no one was watching to begin with. Then he came in and it tanked even further.
Yep.
Because all they focused on was bombshell. Another bombshell.
Drop the bomb, Juan.
Did you know that there's a bomb? Get your hard hats. There's a buzzer. Get your hard hats. There's another bomb coming.
They should let Funk Flex do CNN.
Right? Yo, bombshell coming through right now.
Donald Trump losing documents, y'all. Not in New York, not ever.
Joe Biden is innocent.
He tripping over sandbags planted by MAGA Republicans.
Falling hard.
Then he hit his head on a helicopter.
What?
You didn't see that video? Yo, literally, dog.
That
right
should have been sheep of the week. I didn't even know.
Nah, bro. So, bro.
He hit his head on the helicopter.
Bro, so when he tripped at the Air Force Academy graduation, he was flying back on the helicopter, Air Force 2 or whatever that is, Air Force 1, whatever, and he's getting off.
Marine 1.
Marine 1, yeah. He's getting off the helicopter, and he doesn't duck, and he goes, boing, smacks his head on the top of the helicopter, and then he comes out, and they're like, Mr. President, are you okay? And he's like, they sandbagged me, and then walks away.
That's what he said?
He said that. So then there was a video that came out, and it was a Babylon Bee, and it was Biden all banged up, and he's like, I want to talk to the American people about something dangerous. Sandbags. Not just any kind of sandbags. Put by MAGA Republican sandbags. That's why we need to arrest Trump for 2024.
Terrible.
These sandbags also participated in the insurrection, which apparently was not an insurrection.
Babylon Bee, they had that picture. Did you see the picture that they did? They did an article where it's like some steps at the Capitol and there's a sandbag. Up
Yeah,
there.
the sandbags participated. Yo, the best picture of Joe Biden falling was Joe Rogan kneeled down with the microphone like he was in the UFC fight. The internet's undefeated.
Yeah.
Undefeated.
Shout out
so
to the internet.
CNN, maybe if you actually reported on some news or like gave some actual opinion pieces that, you know, opened conversation instead of bringing the same pundits and people who are just going to echo chamber what you already say.
Lemon.
No one needs to watch that. Nobody wants to watch that. I mean, Fox News is on its way out. I'm going to call it now. You watch Fox News about the tank because they know they're suing Tucker
I
Carlson.
was just about to say that. They're going to sue Tucker right now.
For going on Twitter.
It's a breach of contract. He's gonna. If I was Tucker right now, bro, if they're going to come from me, I'll be like, yo, guys, stop watching Fox altogether.
no,
just
everybody's-
stop watching. I know people will probably do it anyway, but I just straight up say stop. I'll
Honestly,
take their stock. Screw
I
it.
stopped watching Fox after the 2020 election.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
I watched Brett Baer literally like come out of a commercial break and go full on like moderate liberal after break. He's like, well, guys, it's time to admit the Donald Trump era is and we were like, what the fuck?
You
like
waste man.
like
bro.
they called Arizona at like 9:01 and he was just like, it's time to accept it. Joe Biden is president. And everybody was like, nah.
No.
The only one
Not
holding
buying it.
that fucking entire channel together was Tucker. And now he's gone. And now you're mad because he got that Twitter feed. It was like a 15-minute video. Got more views than CNN, MSNBC, and I think something else combined.
That's insane.
Because there's nothing people hate more than a powerful voice.
Kind of like Revive America. Share this live stream, ladies and gentlemen.
Powerful voice. Powerful voice. Moving up. Oh!
It's everybody's favorite gentleman,
Mayor
Mayor
Eric
Oranges.
Adams.
And he's got the orange on the platform as well. Adams floats, and I thought this was a joke.
You know,
like,
Annie told me to stop talking about Eric Adams. I said, fuck that.
Eric Adams keeps coming on the
He
news, man.
Stop doing newsworthy
Stop
shit.
doing stupid stuff. We won't talk
God
about you,
damn,
Eric Adams.
Eric.
See, the thing that's funny, man, is like when I first saw this post on Instagram, I was like, there's no way that's true. But he gave a whole press conference saying, yo, you need to open up your front door and let these people you don't know inside your home.
If you didn't watch the video, I'll give you the quick synopsis. Eric Adams is now basically suggesting that the people of New York will be more accepting of the migrants.
Do the accent, bro.
More accepting of the migrants in New York if we took these billions of taxpayer dollars and give it to them. There's a lot of people hurting economically that got empty rooms.
They need
First
to
of
go
all,
to college.
Who the fuck lives in New York that has spare rooms? These people live in
Nobody.
400 square foot apartments where their
Shoeboxes.
toilet is under the fucking sink. And you think that you get, like, they
seen
literally,
houses
they
like
shitting
that.
under their sink while they got the coffee pot boiling on their electric
They
stove.
They got to turn on the sink and then flush it like a fucking prison toilet.
They get hot water from the fucking electric stove. You know what I mean? They don't got a parking spot.
Right.
They pay $300 a month to park their compact car and ride a bicycle from City Bike around. And Eric Adams said he's going to entice you to keep migrants in your crib
You'll
by
get a
giving
free
you
shipment of oranges.
Where are you going to keep them, though? These people don't have room for themselves.
Bro,
He's a clown.
this guy.
He's such a clown.
So, any spare rooms at
Look,
Gracie
time out.
Ranch?
Even his brother back here know Eric
Like,
full
right?
of shit.
He's looking at him like, come
Bro,
on, man.
bro.
You wilding right now, bro. Come on.
Everybody right in that thing is like,
They're
I'm
looking at
just,
him like, you can't be serious.
bro, they don't buy it.
See, the thing that's frustrating, and you know what I think is probably going in every single one of their minds right now? Is they're probably like, yo, you're black. We're black. You see what the fuck is going on in New York? What are you talking about? Give a room to them. What are you talking about? Give money to them. Why don't you give college to us? What the hell are you talking about? I'm pretty sure that's what's going on in every single one of their minds right now.
This is called virtue signaling recovery, right? You have to recover because you virtue signaled so hard, and now you're being forced to back it up, and you're trying to think like, well, instead of using taxpayer dollars to put them in a school, what if we give you the money and you keep them in your crib? You ever seen the video of the people there's literally holding signs? They're like, no one is illegal.
Yeah.
Let them in. This guy's going around with a clipboard. He's like,
They
no
don't
one's
even wanna
illegal.
sign
He's like, would you like to sign to house a migrant? And they're like, oh no, sorry.
I don't have any space.
I can't. I rent. I can't. I don't have the room. I can't. I don't have the money. But you're out here. And he goes, well, where should we put them? And they all walk away. They're all like, I don't have time for this. I'm leaving. I got something else to do.
NPCs, man. They're all programmed to say that.
So Eric Adams, again, is this is bullshit. And we don't have the story for it, but I know we're about to get into one locally.
Yes.
But what they're not talking about is there's a video. I put it in the chat. There is a hotel that is completely shut down, and it's only migrants. This guy tried to go inside. He was watching all these migrants go in and out, and he was like, what are you doing? And the guys were like, and then these people stopped him at the door. They're like, you can't come in. He's like, it's a hotel. He's like, no, it's not open to the public. But then a guy came out, and he went to Fox, and he actually did an interview talking about how he's been contacting Child Protective Services because every day they find 12 to 15 10-year-olds in these hotel rooms by themselves because the parents are nowhere to be found, and they're getting drunk at the mini bars in the
12-year-olds?
10-year-olds.
What?
They're getting shit-faced. They're running around. There's pictures he posted of the rooms being destroyed, of them taking advantage of this system. And, like, why can't we call it out? Look, I'm not against people trying to escape. I understand America's history and the border is invisible. I get all that. But there's a border now.
No, the border was never invisible.
Well, again, if we talking, let's be realistic. California was Mexico at one point. So was Texas.
Yeah, but then they lost the war.
Right, and then we put all the we can get deep and it's
Bro,
not,
listen, man.
And then look what we did to the Native Americans.
Hang on, I gotta kill that argument real quick, bro. Every single country all across the globe has had situations like this. You lose your land. It is what it is.
Yeah.
People just say, "Oh, America's such a tyrannical country." Because
Yeah.
bro, it happened in Africa, it happened in Mongolia, it happened in Japan, it happened in Korea. It's still going on in Korea. You know, it's happened all over the goddamn world.
But what I'm saying is, this is not the way to do it. This
Yeah.
is not the way to immigrate. This is not the way to help people. And by bribing New Yorkers. Oh, and by the way, they're kicking this money back after New York has just voted on increasing the rent rates.
You know what I just found out about rent as well, too, bro, in New York? You know, in New Jersey, they can't raise it more than 6%, like, per year, right? Which I was like, oh, that's nuts. It's crazy.
Still a lot.
But here's the thing. There's no cap in New York City.
No.
I didn't know that.
No.
I didn't know that. That is, to me, I don't see the point in living in New York anymore at this point.
Well, that's very accurate, and that is exactly why in the suburbs of New Jersey, specifically a town like I live in, we're seeing redevelopments go up everywhere. Because you just said, who the hell wants to live in New York? And you know what the developer said? You're right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build 10-story luxury apartments in the shittiest part to call anything luxury, and we're going to charge $2,400 a month for a 2-bedroom. Because you know what? These idiots were paying $4,000 for a 400-square-foot rat-infested hole somewhere in downtown. And you know what? Then we could build monorail stations and trains and get them to the city if they want to go. Bro. But that's exactly, look, the policies of New York have failed the New Yorkers. And now the New Yorkers are coming to Jersey, they're coming to Connecticut, they're coming to Pennsylvania with the same bullshit policies they voted on in the first place to make New York what it is now.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to sit by and let it happen. Because I'm against progress if I don't want to see high-rise buildings in my town.
You're a bigot.
You don't want to see change. Like, no, you're right. If this is change, I don't want it. Facts.
You're a bigot.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Moving on.
So now,
talk about it, Billy.
I made a post earlier today talking about some breaking news that's going on in New Jersey.
Bombshell.
9th District. Come on, Funk Flex. You gotta be faster than that.
This shit going on in District 9, y'all. Tell them, Billy.
That's why I'm running for Congress.
All right, do it in Billy. Do it in Billy Boy. Like, it's serious.
Okay,
I want to hear what's going on.
All jokes aside, though, I was at a fundraiser about 3 days ago. Micheline Atia, she was running the District 38. Shout out to Micheline.
Shout out.
All right. And I heard a couple of people sitting at our table that were talking about how there's migrants that are going to be sent to New Jersey from New York City. Now, mind you, they're going to, from what it sounds like right now, they're looking to send these people to Lyndhurst, to Carlstadt, and to Rutherford in New Jersey's 9th District. So if you guys who don't know, all of those cities are in the 9th District. They're in my district here. And the two areas that they are going to be staying in is they're looking to put them into the extended stay hotel and the Renaissance Hotel. And I've been getting hundreds of emails, phone calls, text messages, all from people that don't want me to reveal their identities. And that's totally fine. I'm not going to reveal their identities because, things can be really jacked up.
You have whistleblower protection on Revive America.
You do have whistleblower protection.
Yes, sir.
You do have whistleblower protection. But I up until a couple of hours ago, right, where I just got even more information where at this point it's not a conspiracy theory. It's not a tin bandana like Dave has on here. I should have wore a tin bandana today.
Next week,
Billy with a bandana. But I got a message that I'm going to have to read it in a very certain way to kind of protect this person's identity. But basically what they said was they said local officials are talking in secret about this, and police aren't allowed to comment. Public officials are not allowed to comment. Not even sanitation workers are allowed to comment on any of these things. But what's going on is that we have migrants that are going to be shipped from New York City to Bergen County, and it's looking like they're going to put them in the Rutherford. They're going to put them in the hotels in the Rutherford area. The citizens are still the citizens still have no clue about this, and the mayors have been meeting every single night to try and discuss what they're going to do to mitigate this. Now, the thing that's funny about this is in Rutherford, super liberal city. I'm pretty sure you've been there before, right?
Yeah.
You know, most of these people have signs, nobody's illegal, none of that shit, right? Wait until it shows up in your neighborhood, and you have hundreds of people that are now going to be flooding your schools, that are going to be flooding your public works, and in all honesty, it happens no matter where you go. When a bunch of people get dumped in a completely different community that they're not aware of, what ends up happening is there's going to be clashes. There's going to be crime. There's going to be an increase in all kinds of nonsense happening within the community. He even says that, you know, this is reckless, and the federal government is backing it. Governor Murphy knows all about this, and he's pretending that he doesn't. When you ask him, he pretends like it's not happening. This is unsafe for everybody. You didn't get this info from me. I didn't get it from you. I actually heard it from several people. So I asked if he knew how many units there were inside of these hotels. And if you go to the next slide, I did a little bit of research. And in the extended stay hotel, built in 1998, they have 3 floors and 139 units that typically go for about $99 a night, right? That's the
fancy.
Yeah, well,
that was a joke.
I know. It's funny. I think I actually shot a portion of my documentary in the extended stay. Never going there again.
Okay.
And then we also have the Renaissance Meadowlands Hotel, which is 9 floors and has 167 rooms. So at 167 rooms, 139 rooms. Let's just kind of do some basic math.
You got 300 rooms almost.
Right. So let's say you got about 300 rooms.
Yeah.
Each of those rooms, or at least half of those rooms, have 2 beds, right? So there's definitely going to be more than one person inside.
Plus a pull-out couch.
Plus a pull-out couch, exactly.
And a roll-in cot.
Jesus Christ, I'm not even thinking about all that. Yeah, that's
Dude, come on, bro.
So there's probably way more people.
You
than
could, at minimum, put 4 people.
Yeah.
Just if you have one person per sleeping part.
And the thing is, like, not just that. If people are coming in families, right? And I'm assuming, they don't
separate families.
Don't separate them at the border. We don't separate them in the hotel.
Okay, so you got a madre, a padre, y 2 niñas, maybe abuela, abuelo, maybe a tío, a tía,
right?
Maybe a couple little, the nephews. That's 8 people. 8, one familia, 8 persona.
So now,
basic math. 8 persona con 300 rooms. That's 2,400 people's. That's 2,400 people.
Here's a scary part, man.
A lot of tamale.
Here's a scary part, bro. The Rutherford School District, to the best of my knowledge, it only has about 400 to 600 students, right? Now, if you said 2,400, we can estimate that there's about an additional 300 to 400
a quarter
extra
of that
children
being children, about 500.
Right, about maybe even more. Yeah, about 500 of these kids.
It's more than the whole school district.
Exactly.
Where are the kids going to school?
Exactly.
Which leads me to go ahead, because I'm going to jump in.
So now, if you, because like I don't know if you went to a school that was overcrowded, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. East Brunswick.
My graduating class was 900 kids.
I didn't even graduate because I was a bad motherfucker.
I didn't walk in graduation.
I didn't walk. That's what
I got a diploma mailed to me.
Yeah, I got it mailed too. They put my name in the newspaper. Billy made it.
I didn't even have a photo in the yearbook.
Don't do prank. I have pranks.
I was at the end of the people not pictured.
Yeah?
It's me and like 4 other degenerates.
I was like, look at these guys.
Fucking losers.
The worst.
Most likely to go to prison.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Right? Shout out to Dave.
Yeah.
But so these schools are not only going to get overcrowded, these schools don't even have a significant amount of ESL teachers to even deal with this problem.
Yeah.
So now there's going to be a communication barrier. You got a bunch of kids that are not going to be getting quality education. You have other kids that aren't even familiar with the culture that are going to be jumping in school with these children, right? And go to the next slide, because after doing a little bit more research, here's some of the things that I found out so far, right? The contract, and this is from what I've heard from multiple sources, the contract is estimated to cost $289.4 million.
That's a lot of money.
The contract is set to last for 3 years. The 2 hotels that will be used, the Renaissance Hotel in Rutherford and the extended stay. The migrants are going to be bussed in from New York City. Now, something to keep in mind, Rutherford, Carlstadt, Lyndhurst, that whole southern part of Bergen County, they don't have a sophisticated bus system in the same way we do here, like Patterson or East Brunswick or any of these larger metropolitan cities. So someone's going to have to pay for those buses. Now, for those kids to even get to the schools or for people to get to where they need to be, someone's going to have to pay for that. Okay? Governor Murphy's approved this, and elected officials are aware of this. They are aware of this. I'm going to say it again. They are aware of this.
Are they aware of it?
They're aware of it.
Apparently.
And they're telling everyone to remain silent and not to say a single word about what's going on. So the question that I've got for the people that live in the 9th District, most of these people, and this has been going on for quite some time in New Jersey, where they're getting IDs, right? They're getting state-issued IDs. A lot of these illegals are getting state-issued IDs.
Mm-hmm.
How much longer before many of them start driving? Most of them are already going into our school system. There's nothing we can do about it. Hang on.
Oh, I'm just thinking. I'm
building it up. Now, I don't know what systems you're using in East Brunswick, but the election systems that we're using here in 9th District, they're using this tablet, credit card type crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird system that they're using right now.
Yeah.
How much longer before these people are suddenly allowed to vote? Because you're allowing them to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like
They have a right.
Exactly.
They live here.
Exactly.
They should be able to decide.
Exactly. Now you got a bunch of corrupt scumbags that are in government right now. Bill Pascrell being one of them, who I'm going to take down in 2024.
Let's go.
How much longer before these people are allowed to vote? And I think that's probably what the biggest plan is. And that's what the plan is at the end of the day.
Yep.
We're going to continue to perpetually tear this place apart, and the people are not, or the migrants that are brought here are not going to bite the hand that feeds them.
No. Hey, remember us in November.
Right?
Who got you this nice room, continental breakfast,
You ever
free
seen a-
Wi-Fi?
You ever seen a chandelier in the lobby? Come on.
The oranges you can consume.
All of them.
Lots of
the Ron House
vitamin
on
C.
deck, baby. The Ron House
And this
on
ain't
deck.
them cheap ones. These are the seedless navel ones.
These ones we imported from Mexico specifically for you.
Look familiar?
Yeah. Do you like bananas? This
But no.
one says Bonita.
Look, now this contract is what, for the housing?
Apparently, this is supposed to be going to these hotels.
You're missing a big number here that I think is very important when you talk to these districts.
What's up?
Now hear me out. When they started doing the redevelopment in East Brunswick, my biggest issue was, where are the kids going to go? And they tried to give us some statistic that there's only maybe 0.5 children for each
No.
apartment, right? Okay, right. And that they're not going to be overcrowded. But again, the way district maps are, depending on where you build these houses, they have to go to a certain school. The school
Correct.
districts that they were built in were already overrun, which now means that you're going to need to renovate those schools. Number
Correct.
one. Number two, I said, we already have a high school that's over capacity. We already have a high school that was built in the 1960s and 70s. It's well overdue. Here's where it gets expensive for these taxpayers. Not only, by the way, there's $290 million, you're footing the bill.
Yes.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about this. This
Yes.
is not free money. This is coming out of your pocket. So you're footing the bill to house them. But now we need to educate them. We need a place. You just said that the school district of Rutherford is 400 kids, right? We're talking about bringing in that exact amount, let's say on a conservative side, 400 kids.
Right.
You're doubling the school district. Now you need to build
Correct.
another school. Now, I don't know if y'all are aware of this. It's not cheap.
It costs money.
East Brunswick, I told them, I said, you're going to build a new high school just for 1,200 apartments. They're building about 1,200 apartments in a 3 square mile radius. And that's not including all the other ones that are going to be going up. But y'all didn't listen. You're mad now because the construction's happening, but nobody listened.
And you got to pay for it.
And you got to pay for it. And now it's confirmed that the elections are over and everybody made it to base. Tag, I'm safe. Base. Now we're talking about a high school that they estimate is going to cost around $300 to $400 million. Now that's obviously you're going to tell them it's the low number, but anybody, including myself, who's worked on a construction site, will tell you that the price of goods is going to go up. Your price of labor has gone up. It's not the same that it used to be pre-pandemic to build these things. That high school is going to cost close to $700 million because they're talking about state-of-the-art. And you know who pays for it?
You.
Taxpayers pay for it. So again, when no one's illegal, we need people to stay places. This is the message that anybody who's running right now in Billy's district for something this year,
You need to talk.
this is what you need to talk
In
about.
fact, better yet, I'll even say this. Every single person that lives in District 9, especially in South Bergen, you need to be at your next city council meeting because they are not going to tell you this.
Even when you go, they won't tell you.
They're not going to tell you this. You need to put the pressure on them. Many of these people that are in the government, in our local government, many people are good people that don't want anything bad to happen. And they're telling me these things. They're sharing these things. It's not one person, not 2 people, not 5 people, not 10. About 30 people have told me this already. Screenshots, everything. This is going to happen. You need to be at your next city council meeting. You need to protest this. You need to stand your ground and do not allow this. I'm going to be with you guys every step of the way. But do not leave me hanging. I need you guys at these city council meetings. We cannot allow this to happen in District 9.
Can I let you down easy? You're going to be alone.
I probably will.
I
But
hate
you know
to
what?
say this to the American people, to the people of New Jersey, to the people of District 9. Billy is a champion. And you know what? I don't live in your district, but the people of District 9 do not deserve you. They don't. Because you're willing to show up for an event that's really not going to affect you, right? Bergen, I mean, yeah, it's your district, but you're here in Patterson.
Right.
It's not affecting you yet. I spent how many months, years telling people to show up. You've spent months, years telling people to show up. And time again, you end up there, I end up there at that podium fighting for people that will not fight for themselves. So you know what? Billy, you're not going to that meeting. You need to go to that meeting. And once you go to that meeting, and then you go to the next meeting, and you go to the next meeting, then Billy shows up.
That's actually a very good point.
You know what? Show me that you're willing to fight for yourself. Show me that you have what it takes to stand up to tyranny on a local level. We get so confused and think tyranny only happens at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. It happens in Bergen. It happens in Middlesex. It happens in our backyards. And when we tell people this stuff and say, hey, I'm going to the council meeting. Join me. They sit back and they're like, go, Billy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
You got it.
You know what? And you know who gets kicked in the face? You do. I do. You know who gets their name dragged through the mud? You do. I do. And they sit at home on Facebook 2 years from now when the new school is getting built and their kids have no bus systems and their taxes went up 8% in the fourth fucking quarter. And they're going to be like, why did this happen, Billy? Why? And Billy told you. I told you. You got to start fighting for yourself because otherwise this doesn't matter to us. This doesn't matter because one man, I don't care how awesome he is, I don't care how well-spoken he is not going to fix this fight. You have to do it yourself. So for the people of Bergen, get to, talk to your people who are running. You need to go to your next meeting. Go 2-3 times. Go to your plan, because it's not just the council meetings, Billy. It's the zoning board. It's the redevelopment agency. It's the planning board. It's the school board. Ask all these people this question because they all get directly affected, right? Planning board. Where are you going to put them? Redevelopment board. How are you going to take into account the fact that we don't have a bus system, right? School system. How are we going to handle this? City council. Who's paying for this? Mayor's office. Why did you approve this? Every single person has a question that deserves to be answered by you, the taxpayer. And it's not up to Billy Prempa or Dave Herrera to get that answer for you. It's up to you.
You know what's also the worst part, though? Is even these super liberal mayors and council members are standing against this right now. And even they have their hands tied by the governor at this point. But that doesn't mean we cannot stop this. If you sit there and you let it go lightly, they're going to keep encroaching.
Yep.
They're going to keep on pushing.
Yep.
And they're going to make it harder and harder. For you that have – I know people who just bought houses in District 9, right? Just moved in. Yeah, we're living this whole new life. Finally got our home. When your taxes start going up and you get priced out of your home and then they knock your home down and probably a couple homes down on your block and they replace it with another development and bring more of these randos into your community and push you out of the town that you spent your blood, sweat, and tears trying to get into, you're not going to have much to say. So you must say something now while you still have the opportunity to do so. These people are just trying to get elected. They're trying to keep their asses in seats. So it's better for you not to know and for you not to say anything, and for there to be no ruckus and for nothing to happen. Yeah. You need to get up and get extremely pissed off.
You know when this will become public? Middle of November. when ballots are counted.
After
when
elections, exactly.
Right. Because
That's why you
again,
got to make noise right now.
my entire campaign last year was telling people about this redevelopment, telling people that they were going to shut down Route 18 for the next 4 years, telling people your taxes are going to go up, telling people there was a new high school. And they were like, they sat there. These elected people sat there, and the mayor went door to door and were like, he's nuts. He's nuts. And you know what? November 6th came around, November 7th, it was like, bombshell, bombshell. We're building a school, and we're ripping up the road, and we're increasing your taxes, and here's 1,200 new apartments. And everyone's like, oh, what? But you got lied to. But you got lied to. Demand the truth, right? And don't settle for anything less. And even when you think you're getting the truth, still show up. Because you know what? I didn't win my election, but I made them uncomfortable showing up and asking the questions.
Absolutely.
And that's one person. One person. What happens when 20 people show up? And again, I'm not advocating for you to be intimidating or violent.
You don't have
to. Ask the questions. People forget. You know, I found out in this, and I know we're rambling on this, but this bothers me. Council meetings and township meetings used to be a discourse between the residents and the elected officials. People would come in, you'd say, hi, I'm Dave, and here's my concern. And your council president and your other council members would sit there and they'd say, hey, listen, and we'd talk. And then they would say something, and I would say, okay, and I would say something back. Now you go up, you get 5 minutes, you're allowed to speak, they're allowed to respond if they want to, but then you're not allowed to respond to their response.
Right.
It's it. That's it. It's a one-way conversation. You say something, they maybe respond back, and that's it. And if you try to speak again, they'll tell you, not a back and forth. They'll smack a gavel on you. They will make you feel inferior because they sit there. They forget that, again, I thought the point of running for a city or for the government, for anything, was to help your fellow man. And it's like the second these people put their hands on a Bible, which I don't know how half of them do, these demons inside, how you do this and swear to uphold the Constitution and protect the neighbors and do right by the community, and then the second you sit on the other side and you're looking south instead of north, you forget what it's like to be on that side. And that's why the people need to show up. That's why the people need to fight. And again, as amazing as I think you are, and I'm not blowing smoke on you, as amazing as I think you are, this is not your fight. This is their fight. You can tell them where to go, but if they're not going to stand up for themselves, it's a pointless effort. And I don't mean that to kill your momentum, dude.
No, you're not killing my momentum.
I believe in you, but if they don't believe in themselves, what are you doing?
You're not killing my momentum, because we've had conversations about this, like, off air.
Right.
Where it's like, how much further, God forbid, someone takes me out. Right.
Who fights?
Who's going to fight? Who's going to talk? Who's going to rally the people? Who's going to go and get it together?
There'll be the people that are like, I wish we still had Billy.
Damn, let's go pray by his grave. Nah, pray to Jesus at this point, bro, because you still have an opportunity to do something right now.
But you have
very valid point.
But you gotta have some cojones. You gotta go do it. It's uncomfortable. I'm a great public speaker, right? And the first couple times I went up there, I was nervous.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Like, they're just regular people.
They're just like you.
But you're like, oh, this is the mayor's up here and the businessmen. Oh, this is scary
They're
stuff.
nobodies. They're just like you.
But they're just like us. And once I realized the game, the peddling, the way they try to spin or make you feel a certain type of way, and once I realized it's a facade, then it became fun.
Yeah.
And I tried to get people and everyone will go, oh, I don't want to create trouble.
There is already trouble.
Right. So, but then if you're not willing to fight for the freedom, then you need to be willing to accept the consequences. You need to be willing to live with redevelopment zones. You need to be willing to live with road closures. You need to be willing to live with quarterly tax increases. You need to be willing to live with loss of services. You have to be willing to deal with these things. And if you're not willing to deal with these things, then like Billy is telling you, like I've been telling you, now's your chance to fight. There's always something. And they always save the big stuff for after the election.
Absolutely.
Fight them on it now. Let them know that, you know what? One person, I know 10 people, right? If 20 people know 10 people, that's 200 people. If you all go tell those 10 people what's going on here, and those 10 people tell another 10 people, you can literally, we did this number.
Yeah, but I got to go to work.
You can go to work, man, but go on your social media. I'm not saying you need to have millions of followers, but you probably got 50 Instagram followers. Law of averages says 10% a watch. That's 5 people. Post it to your story. Let those 5 people see it. Let those 5 people share it to 5 more people. Right? You don't need to red pill the masses.
Exactly.
You just need to tell one person who tells another person. And that's how the community becomes stronger, right? You know, it's like boards, right? You ever done karate or martial
yeah,
arts?
punch the
You
board.
break that one board. It's easy. 2 boards, not as easy. 3, 4, 5, 6. The more boards you stack, the less pliable and breakable that board becomes. That's how we have to look at it. Billy shows up by himself, 1 board, bam. Bill Pasquarello, whoever it is, they can take you out. But Billy Prempa, with 20 other Billy Prempa believers, people that believe what Billy's talking about is realistic, they hit that board, you know what happens? They bloody their knuckles. And you don't break and you don't bend. And that's what people got to realize. We have to stick together, as uncomfortable as it is.
I was about to say, don't tell me you're gonna miss that,
No,
man.
I was actually listening.
There you go.
No, but like I believe in you, dude. Like I told you, I think you're one of the greatest minds of our generation, and I'm privileged to not only like know you as a candidate, as someone like, but like we talk as like a friend. Like we're going to see Excision on Sunday. Like you're a real dude, but you can't do this battle alone. Right? As much as I like to be the Batman, as much as I like to do this shit and poke the bear and be there, and you know what? It hurts, but it fuels me at the same time. It's a sick mixture, right? It's hard to do it alone, right? It's hard to do it alone. And people really got to find where their line is. Is your line crossed yet?
It's been crossed a long time ago. You just gotta. We harp on this literally every single week, bro. Like, where's the line? Where's the line?
Where's your line?
Right. You know what? We need to make some merch. Where's the line? We need to make a shirt or something like that. Like,
yo,
no more
the shirt
call-
says "Revive Your Line."
Right, revive your line. Hey,
Yo, I know.
Hey,
Yo, Juan, tell him I used to drop bars, bro. We was listening to my SoundCloud earlier. I got
yo, revive the line.
Revive Your Line. That's it.
That's it.
Figure out where it is. Don't think because your line's been crossed that you can't set a new boundary. Right? Okay, yeah, they tricked you during COVID. All right, maybe you closed your business. All right, maybe you wore a mask. Maybe you took the vax. Maybe you let your kids get indoctrinated. Maybe you have to watch pornography in your kids' schools. Maybe. But stop. Go. No, foot is down. Here.
That's it.
Here. That's enough. Because they're going to do to you what the Native Americans. You know how the Native Americans used to hunt buffalo?
They hunted them into extinction, didn't they?
But do you know how?
How?
Native American. Anybody who knows a buffalo, it's a giant creature.
Yeah.
Native Americans, average-sized humans. Here's what they used to do. There was less Native Americans than there were buffalo, but what they would do is they would stir them up, they would get them all disoriented, and then they would round them in a direction, and they would run buffalo off the edge of the cliff. The buffalo would kill themselves trying to run away from the Native Americans. So there's pictures of the buffaloes going off, and then they would have people down at the bottom that would get what they needed, right? The fur, the meat, the organs, whatever they needed.
Wow.
But they didn't have to fire a single bow. They didn't have to throw a single spear. They would chase them. They let them kill themselves, and that's exactly what the elected officials in all of the United States and the world are doing to its people. Let's stir them up. Let's tell them the direction we want them to run. Let them run themselves into their own death.
You know, it's crazy that that you mentioned that a lot of these cartoons actually used to do that.
Yeah.
Or movies, you know, where they're like a bunch of zombies would come by and
Run them off the cliff.
Yeah, they're right on the cliff.
That's what they're doing to you. You need to hold your ground. The cliff is not as far away as you think it is. It's right behind you, and if you allow them to, they will push you off and let you die.
Wow. That's deep, man.
Yeah, it's real deep, bro.
Because they knew they couldn't beat them. The same way the government, when a herd of buffalo is together, you can't beat them.
They're going to kill you.
Their hide is tough. They've got horns. They're powerful. They're fast. They're angry as all hell. You ain't beating them with a spear made out of rocks and sticks. But gravity, their weight of their own body will kill them. Falling 20, 30 feet, you know, and that's, it's crazy. Think about it. They're like, we don't got to kill them. They'll kill themselves. That's what they're doing here. We don't got to kill the people. Let them fight about COVID. Let them fight about race, black and white, gay and straight, religious versus not, mask or no mask, CRT and school and pride and this and that. And we're over here beating the shit out of each other while people collect checks watching us fall off the cliff to our own death. Stand your ground. Fight your line. I don't want to fight anybody that believes in trans rights. I don't want to fight anybody that believes in social justice. I don't want to fight anybody who wanted to wear a mask or who wanted to get a shot. I want you to understand that maybe we don't agree, but we should be on the same side because they're trying to push us off the cliff together. I don't care how liberal you are or how conservative you think I might be. We're both enemies to the same person. They want you to believe that I'm your enemy.
Right.
They want us to continue to fight each other while the current drags us out there. We drown. We fall. But that's not the enemy. That's not the fight. And once people wake up and realize that is not your adversary, I don't need to be pro-trans. I don't need to be pro, people doing gender reassignment. But it doesn't mean I hate you for it. Nor do I want to fight you for it. I want you to live your life the same way I want to live my life. And the way we do that is by getting back to the basics of what this country was founded on. Fucking freedoms and principles. Right? Believing government giving you freedom is the biggest illusion ever. And those of you willing to sacrifice freedom for a little bit of security deserve neither. Ben Franklin said that. Those willing to sacrifice liberty for a little bit of security deserve neither.
Yep.
That's what it is. Let's get back to the basics and understand we need to come together, and civil discourse will be the only thing that saves us.
Perfect timing that time, man.
Sure.
And yeah.
I'm watching.
No, but look, man, I want people in this district, you to be able to help them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No,
But you can't do it alone, dude. And I want to believe in you. I do. And I know you have that ability to rally them up. But can you rally them off their asses? Because you ran 2 years in a row, and New Jersey couldn't get 36% of Republicans to go out and vote.
Which is insane.
The 64% of people were just like, man, it's not that bad.
It's got electrolytes.
Phil Murphy's all right. Yeah,
Idiocracy.
Yeah, Mondo. You know, what are they? Brondo on the plants.
electrolytes.
Got electrolytes, Moving on.
Yeah, moving on, guys.
Yo,
Get up and fight.
if all this back and forth going in and talking doesn't get you fired up to support what we're doing, I don't know what will, but you need to go to the Revive America shop at revive-us.com and pick yourself up some merch.
The Revive the Line shirt's coming soon.
The Revive Your Line shirt. I like it.
Yeah.
We've got our episodes on there. We have all of our merch. We got snapbacks, hats, hoodie seasons coming, but it's coming faster than you think.
Oh, yeah.
And we also got the grand new party merch. We got hats, hoodies, tank tops. They're all coming. We got to get I got to get on the Shopify or something with you.
I'll throw it on there.
We need to get something where we do that because I got people hitting us up for stuff like that. But support us because this isn't to make me and Billy rich. This is to pay Juan. This is to keep the studio going.
Paging Dr. Juan.
We were talking about this
Dr. Juan.
earlier, man. If we can make enough money to just pay for the studio and we could do this for fun, which we do anyway.
Right.
That's it. This is really all we want to do is to educate and keep this shit going.
Absolutely. So we also just saw I actually saw I'm looking at the stream here. We saw about 7 other people just subscribe to the Revive America podcast on Rumble. So give a big round of applause for those people. Thank you for being a patron. Thank you for spreading the word.
I think we've only been on Rumble for like 5 weeks.
22 weeks.
No.
Rumble. Yes.
Live
Rumble
on Rumble for
correct,
5 weeks.
correct.
We had to wait to get 25.
Correct.
And we've gone up.
Ain't
We're doing
that something. See how fast the word spreads when you're telling the truth?
Oh, big shout out. You remember that Bud Light video? I've been saving it. I wanted to talk the one we did from the clip about the Bud Light can, Dylan Mulvaney, and talking about how people were distracted.
Oh, yes.
I'm excited to announce that after 3 weeks, that video has hit 500,000 views on Instagram. 500,000 views on Instagram, bro. I couldn't believe it. I was completely shocked by it. But yes, if you go to the Insight, when it loads, we hit over 500,000 views. It was shared 35,000 times. It was liked 37,000 times.
Those are rookie numbers. You got to get those up.
Listen,
they got to 1.4 million.
Listen, it's still climbing. Every time I log in, somebody's sharing it. Somebody's posting it to their story.
And it's the truth.
And it's the truth. Yeah. And again, the reason why I'm comfortable, and I know you are sitting in this room saying what we say, is because we're not lying to people. I don't drive an hour and a half every Thursday to come here and bullshit people.
Right.
No. I could do that from Facebook Live if I wanted.
That would be pretty stupid if you did do that.
So dumb.
Fuck their corner.
But, it's man, vendetta. Oh, so this is where it was supposed to be, that clip.
That's why I said that.
The clip. We're going to play you this clip. Billy knows a little bit more, so why don't you tell him what this clip is?
So, Republican Representative Barry Loudermilk. Loudermilk.
It's a sus last name.
Look, man,
was he a porn star in his previous life?
Choices, bro. Like that's just
change your name. Prince became a symbol.
That's because the record labels are holding them hostage. But shut up,
Barry Loudermilk.
Representative Barry Loudermilk goes over this video of police officers dressed in plain clothes that are enticing people inside of the crowd to go inside the Capitol, climb the fence, and do all kinds of madness.
But this was all MAGA Republicans. There's no cops there.
Well, so they say.
There was no feds there.
They say.
All right, play the tape. I'm not believing it. I'm taking the tinfoil off. Let's hear it.
There were definitely feds there.
The video that you're showing right now is something that has been out on Rumble. And I can tell
Rumble!
you that from the information that we received from the Metropolitan Police Department, I can verify that this video is from a Metropolitan Police undercover officer. Now, the concern that we have is that at one point on this video, it appears that this officer is encouraging people to climb the scaffolding and go into the Capitol. And so this is the concerning part to me. And again, if you're going to go after the truth, you have to look at things very objectively. So we need to look at it from several angles, but it is really, really difficult to get beyond the fact that at one point, the person who is, this is a GoPro video camera that the Metropolitan Police Department sent us this same footage. So we know that it is one of their officers. And at one point, he is encouraging. It appears he's encouraging, but he's definitely helping people climb the scaffolding, and he's telling them, go, go, go. So that opens the door of, okay, we have officers there. Why is an officer encouraging people to climb the scaffolding and go into the Capitol? And secondly, why did the MPD, Metropolitan Police Department, decide to put undercover officers in the crowd? Was there intelligence that they had that was or was not passed on to the Capitol Police, and what did the Capitol Police do with that evidence if they got it?
Sure.
I was listening to the music. I was like, what the hell's going on?
No. They were going on commercial break or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, so feds were, and you know what's crazy? Remember that picture of that protest of whatever, of the supposed white supremacists that were in Washington, D.C., all the guys are in khaki pants.
Fed boys.
Looking fed as fuck.
Fed as fuck.
Bro,
They had their fucking pants tucked into their boots.
Bro, nobody does that.
Nobody.
Dog.
Nobody.
You're definitely a fed.
Stop it.
Right? So the thing that really upsets me about this is the type of stuff that China does. China will send some of their people into these protests to try and crack it down from within and even cause the damage themselves and then blame it on the protesters. They can use it as an excuse and a pretext to arrest and destroy people's credibility. And to see something like this and to see that there's still people inside of the prisons in January 6th, most of them have not even had the opportunity to have a trial yet, and they're being treated like absolute criminals, while you see a bunch of Democrats, including Nancy Pelosi's son, Mrs. Rip the Speech Nancy Pelosi's daughter, not son, my fault, up there talking about how this insurrection wasn't a real thing. It's not a big deal. It's not that crazy. They're blowing this out of proportion to not only demonize us and to did somebody just walk past me? What the hell was that? Is that a ghost?
No, I'm here,
You're good, bro.
You scaring me now.
Don't do that, bro.
I think, it was a transition.
Don't do that.
No, it was a,
It was a transition.
It was a transition on
Okay.
TV. I was
Don't do that,
I was about to say,
bro.
yo, see, they're trying to put a hit on me, bro.
Don't do that, bro.
Yeah, they are.
I'm that guy that watches scary movies, and I'll leave. I'll leave.
No, we're finishing the stream.
Bro, I'll leave.
Go see to take a seat.
Bro, I'm out. I am out. I am Scooby-Dooing through that fucking wall, bro. Yo, I'm out.
But,
No.
yeah, man.
No.
But, yeah, man, seeing this kind of stuff really infuriates me, man, because they all know this is bullshit. The media knows it's bullshit. The elected officials know it's bullshit. But they'd rather demonize you because they have a much, much more nefarious agenda.
Well, because, again, you got Trump running again, and this is going to be the number one talking point to try to keep voters from voting for him. Because they'd be like, sure, the economy was great, and the border was secure, and there was peace in the Middle East, and North Korea wasn't firing missiles, and Russia was acting okay, and China was paying their fair share, and Mexico and Canada had an agreement with us. They got rid of NAFTA, and the stock market was great. We get all that. But January 6th.
We can't forget.
You're like, oh, my God, you're right. You're right. Again, sacrificing your liberties for a little bit of, safety. Security. Right? What do you feel unsecure about? You will not feel secure if Donald Trump is elected. So they keep the January 6th narrative alive because it's really the one thing that there's evidence of that they, again, bombshell, try to stick this man with, that they're going to use to run. Be like, do you really want this to happen? And again, you technically wouldn't have to worry about this because Trump can't run for another term. So after this, there will be a peaceful transition of power no matter what because he's done. So I think it's just really a talking point to scare. And again, going back to the last clip that we were just talking about, demonizing you versus them, right? Not you specifically, but you versus them, right? Oh, yeah, well, your friend supports insurrection. Somebody said that about me. They said I supported.
We know who it was.
But
we know who it is.
But
fuck that guy.
How do you support
Come at
insurrection?
me, bro. You know what? Fuck you. Come at me, bro.
How do you
call
support
the FBI? Fuck you.
How do you support?
I'm just gonna say it. Fuck you, Darkona. I'm just gonna say it straight up.
Jesus.
Fuck you, dude. Call the FBI. We did nothing.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Revive America is lit. This guy. Yeah. I'm lost for now. Now you lost my train of thought.
Fuck that guy, dude.
I
Listen,
get
man,
it.
because I'm just gonna say it. Fuck it. People like you are the problem, man. People like you are the fucking problem.
There'll be a time and a place. For
I know
all
there'll be.
of it.
I know there'll be
Time and a place.
I just
Time and a
said,
place.
Fuck that guy.
But yeah. For the record, he was the messenger carrying it, not
The messenger.
right. But anyway, moving on to something that's completely unrelated to politics, but something that I take very personally, and wanted to discuss. June is Men's Health Month, right, which includes mental health, and I feel like, look, I understand it's Pride Month, and again, I'm not trying to shit on anybody who's celebrating that. But that is what everyone is talking about. June is Pride Month. But it's also Men's Health Month. And I feel, as a man in this world, when you're going through things, you're alone. When you are going through your own battles with your own demons and dealing with your own personal problems, men all around this country, around this world, are doing it alone because we're told we have to. We're told that you got to toughen up. We are told that you need to fight this battle. And again, I advocate for being a tough guy and fighting your fight.
Right.
But people don't talk about what men's suicide rates are. People don't talk about men's overdose rates. People aren't talking about the fact that it's very hard to live up to a standard, to hold down a family unit, to provide for them, and also take care of yourself because no one cares.
All while being demonized.
All while being demonized for being that man, right? You know, and somebody talked about this. Like, and again, I'm not here to take away from women, but women have a lot of outs, right? Somebody was talking about this, right? Women have a lot of outs for their mistakes, right? And somebody's like, what does that mean? And somebody made this point. It was like, well, if a women, you know, you have contraception. If contraception doesn't work, you have Plan B. If Plan B doesn't work, you have an abortion. If an abortion doesn't work, you have an adoption. If none of that works, you can get child support. If that doesn't work, you can still get child support and take that father away from his kid and let him see his kid maybe 2-3 times a month while still paying a ridiculous amount.
Kind of like Billy Prempa.
Again, I ain't airing you out. But what I'm saying, and I'm not here to, this wasn't an attack on women's reproductive rights, but I'm saying is men don't have a lot of outs. Men stand there and they take it and they fight that fight. And this is really a call to any man that's out there that does feel alone. Because, again, breaking the stigma of not being able to ask for help, of not feeling comfortable enough to come to another man, right? And talk on a deeper level, to drop that guard of, like, I'm okay.
And that's the hardest part, bro.
It is.
I'll be completely honest. That's the hardest part, man. And that's what you really hit the nail on the head, bro. Like, that's honestly the hardest part. It's like sometimes, man, when you're going through shit, it's hard to just talk to another man about that or talk about some of those problems. And there's a lot of people that carry that cross, man, and just try and carry forward, man. It's tough.
Look, and I know for me, you know, I grew up without a father. My father died when I was 18, and I had a lot of trust issues with men, right? Because how am I going to trust you when the guy who made me wasn't around, right? Granted, as I got older, I realized my father had problems that he didn't know how to deal with because he suffered in silence, right? He didn't want the help. And, you know, obviously I'm in recovery now and I have a sponsor, but it took me years to open up on a deeper level with another man and let them in and tell them the things that bother me. And can I tell you that it is the most freeing thing to be able. And my sponsor's name is Billy, and he's a great guy.
Not me.
No, not you. But, you know, to be able to call him when I'm like, Billy, I feel like crying. Or Billy, I feel alone. Or I feel like I can't do it. Or I feel like I'm not good enough. Or I feel like I'm not strong enough. And have another man sometimes pick you up.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what I want to advocate. Not just for the month of June, but for men forever. It's okay to feel not okay. It's okay to struggle with your mental health. What's not okay to do is to suffer silently.
Yeah.
So to any man out there or to anybody watching this stream that may know somebody that is struggling, look, my phone is always on. My inbox is always open. And I know the same for Billy. But, while we want to talk politics, while we want to get into the issues that make us mad, at the end of the day, we're just good dudes that really want to see the world a better place. And there are men that deserve good men in their life to pick them up.
Yeah.
Hit us up.
That really hit home, man.
It's true, man. Like, I know guys who have killed themselves, who have, whether it be drugs, whether that be through guns, whether that be through other methods. I know men who have completely given up on themselves. I know men who have made bad decisions they think they can't recover from. Look, man, look at me. I'm going through shit too. Shit that I literally am not allowed to talk about.
Unfortunately.
And how many times have I talked to you? Right?
Yeah,
A lot.
yeah.
How many times do you think I've talked to my sponsor? A lot. How many times do you think that I've broken down and I've talked about it and because I can't do it alone.
Yeah.
And it's okay to not be able to do it on your own. It's okay to feel broken, man. But what's not okay is to not do something about it, right? Because the world doesn't care. In the grand scheme, the world does not care. You're not fucking special. Nobody cares. Everyone's got their own set of problems, right? You could be going through something. I could be going through something, but what's big for you might not be big for me. What's big for me not be big for you. But we should still be able to have a moment or an opportunity or a friend that you can come to as another man and say, hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's a freeing and empowering feeling to not feel alone in this world. So I advocate, if you're a man that feels alone, if you're a man that feels like there's really not options, there is. And you got to get out of your own way and you got to talk. That's important.
Seeking help and therapy does not make you a punk. There's been times in my life where I've been extremely low, where I've sought therapy. I've spoken to people that are important in my life. Many mentors that have guided me and made me into the man that I am today, purely because I was able to open up. So don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to call. I've been there. And if you are out there struggling, you are dealing with those kinds of issues, I'm telling you right now, bro, speak with someone.
Hell yeah. Help is out there.
So this is a story that I wanted to touch on that I saw earlier today. Tim Pool posted this, and I agree completely with what his analysis was. So for those of you guys that are looking at the screen here, it says DeSantis attack ad uses fake AI images of Trump embracing Fauci. I'm not certain if you guys saw this, but on Twitter, Ron DeSantis put out an advertisement. It's a video that was, talking about how Donald Trump didn't fire Dr. Fauci, and he went so freaking low that he used AI to generate images of Donald Trump and Dr. Fauci. And if you've seen a lot of AI pictures, it's very obvious that these pictures are fake. But the fact that Ron DeSantis had to stoop that low to do that makes me lose all the respect for this guy. There's a lot of things he could have gotten Trump for. There's a lot of things he could have used to drag him in the mud. But the fact that you had to go and create something fake just to push that kind of idea into people's minds, it's disgusting. It's despicable. And the thing that's even scarier about that is the fact that now with AI, this is a possibility. You could frame somebody with AI. To someone who doesn't know any better, bro, you could frame somebody and completely ruin their lives. And if you think that, I'm not a popular person, they're not going to find my name on AI. No. You can actually train your AI. You can use applications that invoke AI, automatic 1111. You can upload a bunch of pictures of somebody. You can generate prompts and have that person with their pictures and their images do whatever you want.
Yeah.
If I wanted to take a picture of Dave, all I need is about 30 pictures of Dave, upload it into that AI system, have it train that AI for about 20, 30 minutes, and I can have a picture of Dave dressed up as, Walker, Texas Ranger.
I actually have a picture of that. I'll send it to you.
You do?
Yeah, you don't need the
Seriously?
No, but again, and I want to piggyback off that, the scariest part is this is new technology, right? And now, I'm a video game person. I know you are too, and Juan is. You remember what video games were like in the early 90s?
Fun.
These they were fun, but they were blocky, and there was 2 buttons and a D-pad.
Right.
That was it. And it was up, down, left, right. That was it.
That's it.
Now look at it. Look at the level of how good we have VR now.
You're playing a movie.
So this is a new technology. What do you think AI capability can be like in the next 10 years?
4 years.
You could
Forget about
probably
10.
but you could do videos. You could do so again, and I don't like to make light of this, but think about it. Somebody could say, Billy raped me. And you go, no, I didn't.
Look at this
Here's a video.
And it never happens.
But it could look so realistic that you now need to prove your innocence based on something fake.
Right.
That's a scary
Extremely.
thought. That's a very scary thought. But again, This goes back to my whole take on AI. Have you never watched a sci-fi movie from the 80s?
Right.
It never worked out well.
Never.
The Terminator. There was literally an article that they came up with a robot made of nanobots that can melt down to get through bars and reform.
Oh, yeah.
That's literally the premise of Terminator.
And nanotechnology's existed for quite some time.
Why are we dabbling in things that we are not going to be able to control?
These
You don't know
deep-
what AI stands for, right?
Artificial intelligence.
I understand. Artificial intelligence, but that means that it's always growing, it's always learning. What happens when the intelligence realizes it's smarter than the people who created it? That's
there's a game
dangerous.
for that. I forgot the game that it was called. I gotta look it up. And it's actually
That was Metal Gear Solid 2.
no. There was actually a game that came out where you're the actual robot. And,
Oh, you're talking about Detroit.
Detroit. Yes,
Detroit,
yes,
yeah.
Sir, yep,
Where they were
yep.
like cyborg humans. They were
Yeah.
so smart and sophisticated.
So-
and like
And toward the end of the game,
they like immigrate to Canada
Yeah.
and shit.
yeah, they ended up toward the end of the game. The robots decided that they're a lot stronger than humans, and they went to war.
But like again, not only do I think this is low-hanging fruit for DeSantis to do, right? You're swinging. It's a swing and a miss, in my opinion.
Right.
But we all knew politics was dirty, right? We all knew that you were going to mudsling. We all knew you're going to talk your trash. We all know you're going to go up there and you're going to say this guy. But we're resorting to memeing now?
Desperate, bro.
You're running for the presidency. I get it. Trump does it too. But
that wasn't it wasn't portrayed like a meme. I wish I
no,
put the
that's
video.
portrayed like it's a real thing.
Exactly. That's
Like
the
they
thing.
were hugging.
I wish I showed, because if it was shown as if it was a meme, that's one thing.
Right.
But it was in the video with a bunch of other things that Trump said as if this is what is actually happening.
No, I know.
That's what pisses me off.
I know. It's a dangerous road. But again, man, like, look, we are living in the Matrix, right? When people realize that we live in the Matrix, and this is all bread and circuses, wake up, man. This is all about control. Like I told you, holding your line, you keep getting pushed back while we fight each other along the way to our own demise off the cliff, and they'll turn around and go, "I never touched them." You're right, they didn't. But they planted the seed which caused me to hate thy neighbor, envy thy neighbor, covet thy neighbor's wife, right? These 10, and I'm not a super religious guy, but
You're getting
those
there,
things, I'm getting a little bit. But again, right? Those, I want your possessions. I want your woman. I want your house. I want your life. I want this. I hate
want
you
your
for
kids.
this. I worshiping false idols,
Right.
right? You know, the people that believe that these politicians and these figures and these social media icons care, they don't. They don't, but you follow them blindly. Right? Like, think about it. The news said there was a fire, and you know what? Yesterday, everybody, you know what this forest fire did? It brought the worst people from the pandemic back out. Right? The people you forgot
people you
about.
saw at the beach.
The maskers. The people are like, my eyes itch and my throat hurts. There's fucking smoke in the air. You should probably be inside. And I was at the beach, and I had to be there to work. But there was people with their newborn children in masks
Unreal.
outside. I'm like, you really want a twisty cone that bad?
Twisty.
You really want to win a stuffed animal by filling a balloon with water that bad?
You're gonna bring
that
that
you're out here?
contaminated thing in the house.
But then you're on Snapchat like, it's so bad, I can't breathe. Go inside. It's simple. Yeah. But again, they're so brainwashed, man, and it's sad. But this AI stuff, I don't like it. And DeSantis, I think you should stop.
At this
Drop
point,
out.
yeah.
Drop out.
It gets crazier. It gets crazy. This is another article that I thought was an absolute meme, but vending machines filled with free crack pipes and Narcan empty in just 24 hours of launching. The crack problem, the drug problem in New York City has gotten so far out of hand. They thought, well, what can we do to exacerbate this problem? Let's put some vending machines where people can get crack pipes and Narcan if anything does happen. This is the insane part. Rather than actually focusing on the solution, which is trying to get people into recovery, getting people away from these drugs, and getting people to make better decisions, they're going to enable people to have these decisions. Like, listen, it's better you do the drugs, and if you do drugs, you can get your friend Earl to go up the block and get one of these Narcan things and put in your nose. And that's if there's any left.
It's like that cool mom back in the day that used to let you smoke weed in the basement, and they're like, if my son's going to do drugs, it's better to be under my house.
Right.
It's silly, man. And this is the same city that brought to you abandoned crack houses that they turned into safe spaces for you to shoot up
Ain't
at.
that something?
Now you can go to a vending. You can't get free food. Your kids are starving.
Hey, you know, that's a good point.
You can't get food or vegetables or vitamins
You can
or
get
gym
crack pipes,
memberships
though.
or health care, but you can get Narcan and crack pipes. Make it make sense, right? I can't feed my child. I can't educate him properly. I can't even clothe him. But Johnny Tsunami up the block can buy crack pipes for free. He can just press a button. You can't even get Cheez-Its out of a vending machine like that. And I love Cheez-Its. But crack pipes and Narcan, they also have birth control in there as well. There was a couple other things.
It's just
like
that's a walk. That's a freaking virtue signal
and
machine.
by the way, this thing in the first few hours was completely cleaned out.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you know this, but what crackhead's not going to sit there and pump out all the
Word,
crack
boom,
pipes?
boom, boom,
It's
boom, boom,
free.
boom, boom, boom.
Stupid. Oh my God. Let's not fix the problem. Let's exacerbate it.
Yep.
Crazy. Moving on because we got way over.
Yeah, we've gone way over, but we're just
Yo,
about
but
to
we're
end right.
cooking, man. There's
we're
so
cooking.
much. I think from now on, just expect the show to be at least an hour and a half.
Actually, not way over. I think you guys did a longer episode than this.
We did
honestly.
Rizzo's episode.
Yeah,
last
we're
week
coming
was
up close.
2 hours.
But what I'm saying is, we remember when it was an hour at
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, it was typically an hour.
Typically an
but
hour.
it's getting crazier and crazier, man.
And
there's still a lot of stuff we
and
didn't
we
even
still
put
got
in here.
61 people watching.
Let's go. Shout out to the people following us.
Because you know what? There's a lot going. Listen, Rush Limbaugh, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
Rush Limbaugh used to talk for 4 hours every day, and he was one of the most listened to talk shows ever. So I don't think a time limit is actually required if you're talking about real stuff.
This is true. This is
So-
true. Alex Jones will sit up there and talk for like freaking
They're making the frogs
for like
gay.
5 days. And
Yo,
you know
that
what?
guy is
You know
nuts.
the wildest thing, bro? Is he was right.
They're making the frogs gay.
Right? Not a
Satanic rituals, royal family, mainstream news, folks.
Alex Jones.
Yo,
is right.
you ever see that
He
mic
was
drop
right.
moment where he was talking about like he's like, so you're telling me that there's people inside the government that are pedophiles and that are doing? You mean like Bill Clinton did with Jeffrey Epstein? Yo, and it was
What is
like,
it, court?
yeah, bro. Yo,
Oh man.
thug, bro. What a thug. What's sheep of the week,
So
Billy?
sheep of the week is speaking of the media. There we
Man.
go. Go to the next slide. Andrew Tate,
Yo.
right? One of the most watched men in the world. Love him or hate him.
He's going live on Rumble this week.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's got a new program. It's called Tate Speech.
Tate speech.
I think I like that.
Yeah,
sounds
that's
cool.
pretty
catchy,
clever.
bro.
Tate speech.
I like it. So,
Right.
okay, go ahead.
So, first off, one of the reasons why I did not like England when I was living there was the media is, well, to be fair, the United States media is just as bad. But the way this interviewer from the BBC interviewed Andrew Tate, she would bring up little points, cherry pick points, and try and shove it in your face as if Andrew Tate was this very terrible person, trying to get him to say that he was a rapist and say all this kind of nonsense.
Right.
And now Andrew Tate blasts BBC after accusing them for changing pre-decided questions during the interview. So apparently they proposed it like, oh, we're just gonna ask questions about what it was like in jail, how things were,
Right.
You know what
To
what your
get the
plans were.
interview.
Right.
Yeah.
But the whole entire thing was just hardball, gotcha questions.
Like
the
they do
entire
to like
time.
they do to Trump whenever they get him.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And like a freaking genius, he recorded the entire thing because the whole interview is actually 38 minutes. BBC only put up a 12-minute version of that interview.
Of course.
And to make matters worse, in some countries, you can't even find that interview. It's been taken down completely if you try and find it on YouTube. See, so whenever the media calls me, or they try and make my life
you
difficult,
record it.
hell yes. And that's why I'm telling you, the media is not to be trusted, bro. It's like anytime they want to write a story, especially if you're someone who's controversial, someone who's going to go and say what needs to be said, they're going to try and find a way to destroy you in any way, shape, or form. And that's what they tried to do to Andrew. He uploaded his version of the interview before BBC was able to put their interview up, the full entire unedited thing. And this lady got so pissed off, she rage quits. So we got a small clip because the interview's 38 minutes. We got a small clip just kind of showing
Is this
you.
where he hands her ass?
Shortly, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
This,
All right, let's
this
see.
was basically at the end of the interview.
Check it out.
Dial up,
son.
It's got dial up internet.
Damn, son.
See the internet? You see? They see it. They're trying to
They're trying to take it down.
They're trying to take it down.
Not surprised. Shouldn't have been on YouTube. It should have been on Rumble. You need to come out with a short.
Because you have no time to actually watch my content at length and understand what I'm saying. You have small pieces of paper, small clips on a piece of paper, and you're trying to pretend I've said evil things. And then you're going to say I'm the most dangerous man in the world, which is truly laughable. Do you believe I'm the most dangerous man in the world, Lucy?
I'm not answering your question.
But then we need to change the dynamic of this interview because, and I'll make this clear, I allowed you into my home. I'm doing you a favor, giving you the first interview I'm giving to the public. You don't come here with a position of authority. You're not the police. I don't respect the BBC. I don't know you. We are equals. We are people. And I see you as my equal. And if you ask me questions, I can ask you questions back. For you to come here and sit down and pretend you're the Gestapo and that you don't have to answer my questions is disingenuous because this is a conversation. I don't owe you any degree of authority over me.
I think we're done.
I think
Bruh.
I think we're done, mate.
Savage.
I fucking love this guy.
Yo, you want to know the craziest thing is like when he first like came on the scene, like so many people I know were like, he's this, he's that, he's this, and like I didn't
loved him
like him. I
immediately,
never
bro.
watched it.
I
No,
loved him
but
immediately.
look, and even somebody like me who is a deep dive into the things and I check shit out. I didn't look at Andrew Tate. I just went off what people said. I was like, oh, he's apparently a messiah. He beat and raped his girlfriend. He's a monster. Like da da da. And then he kept showing up in my like reels, and I kept watching it, and I was like,
He's right.
yo, this dude's spitting. But I didn't want to tell nobody at first. 'Cause I'm like, I can't say that. I can't say that because then they're going to say that I support this guy.
Bro, off rip, I love them because I was like, the stuff that the media did to him, they did to me. So I'm like, this guy's got to be telling the truth to some degree.
But you want to know the part that he had another clip where he basically was like, it was someone on the street talking about Andrew Tate, right? And he was like, what do you think of Andrew Tate? And they're like, I hate him. He's a misogynist. He's this. They're like, what is a misogynist? And they're like, you know what I mean? And then he was like, but why do you hate him? And they were like, and then they walk away. And Andrew Tate goes, this is how you know that we're in the Matrix and people will believe whatever they're told.
Those robots.
Because if you tell somebody repeatedly to hate me, they don't actually need to know why they do. They will believe they are supposed to, right?
Right.
If you continue to tell people that Billy is a certain way, people will eventually believe it because most people are too inept or really just don't care enough to actually look that up to find out who you are. Look, I remember like early I had early in a relationship and people were reading articles about me. And the girl's friends were all like, "Oh my God, he's a monster.
You're dating a terrorist.
He's a monster." And I'm like, "Dude, they literally reading articles? Like they don't even know me. They're just reading these articles." Like, but that's again, I learned that I can't be mad at people's inability to want to actually look past certain things and find out for themselves. That's on them, right? I'm okay with people saying X, Y, and Z about me because at the end of the day, I know who I am. You know who you are.
Right.
Tate knows who he is. Is he a loudmouth asshole? Yeah, but he's dropping some serious shit on people, and that. Again, is dangerous. Why?
Absolutely.
Because, and I'll wrap it up with this. When you invade a country, right? Any country, you're never worried about the women. You're never worried about the children.
Mm-hmm.
You're never worried about the elderly. Who are you worried about? You're worried about the able-bodied, fighting-aged men.
Yep.
Right? Because that's who's going to defend the country. Now, over the last decade, even longer, but even more so over the last decade, we have experienced a spiritual battle to not only attack masculinity, attack the nuclear family, attack manhood, make it toxic, make it wrong, make it something that you should be disgusted that you even think about.
Absolutely.
While we attack men to make them more emasculated. Because as we have this spiritual war, we have real wars where they look at America as jokes. We had a military that used to post ads of us flying Blackhawks right up the wazoo of the enemy, taking no prisoners. America, now it's like, you can do whatever you want. Be a cat, be a dog. Who gives a fuck? Join. You know what I mean?
Right.
Think about it. You know what I mean? Like, they won't take me because I have flat foots, but now they'll take somebody who's in the middle of a gender reassignment surgery that's being paid for by the taxpayer.
Insane, bro.
And again, I'm not hating on that. But again, I couldn't go in the military because I have flat feet. You know? Crazy. And you want to attack a guy like Tate who's reminding people like us that it's okay to be a man, right? Because to the feminists and to the liberals and to all the other people that hate guys like us, when shit goes south, you don't want someone like you showing up.
Right.
You want someone like me.
Right.
You want someone like Billy.
Right.
You want an Andrew Tate showing up. Right? Do you want a feelings officer with a notepad, or do you want a
Fuck no.
badass cop
With a gun.
with a gun that's going to protect you? So he's being taken down because he's trying to restore what I believe the masculinity that America has been losing.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way the first time I ever watched him. I kind of like gravitated toward what everybody else was saying, but then in time, bro, I'm just like, no, this guy's speaking some fucking facts here, bro.
Yeah,
like,
man. He dropped some serious shit.
on Twitter, he's outstanding on Twitter, bro. Like, he talks his shit on Twitter, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I got to give it up to him.
Well, that is all the time that we have. I mean, look, I think that was a great show. I looked at my phone. I couldn't believe because we were just going. Like,
Yeah.
there's no dead time. It's captivating. There's so much to talk about. We still need to plan out Conspiracy Week, though.
Bro, but there's so many that just keep happening, bro. It's like
They're not
aren't there even
conspiracies.
conspiracies anymore at this point, bro.
What is a conspiracy theory at this point?
Something that Richard Nixon made up when he didn't want you to question what was going on.
Yeah, the same guy that was,
He's not a crook, though. He's not a
He is.
crook.
Yeah, right. Well, we will see you guys next week at 8 o'clock. Again, share this with your friends.
Yep.
Let them know there are people fighting for them. Let's wake people up one at a time. You know, when I see that number, again, we're not doing Joe Rogan numbers. We're not doing, crazy numbers. But every week. But every week that I see more and more people signing in, that's just one more mind that we've opened.
Absolutely.
It's one more door that we've opened.
Help us open more minds. Help us revive more minds.
Revive more lines.
Revive more lines.
Reviving lines and minds, baby. That's what we do. Yo, we got to make that shirt.
Yes. That's next. I'm going to start designing it. Revive that line, baby.
Yo, you got a Canva account? I'll help you.
I do.
Let's do it.
I got Photoshop, bro. I'm a real
Hey,
G. I'm a real top G. Since 2006, I've been on Photoshop.
I'm
Drop the
down.
Tate accent.
I'm down.
But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in.
We'll see you
Billy
guys.
Prep as some guy named Bill on Instagram. Make sure you follow us. If you love this episode, share with your friends and family, especially the people that live in District 9. Make sure every single one of them see this episode.
Show up to your council meeting. And,
Absolutely.
I'm Dave Herrera, not your typical politician. And we will see you guys next week.
And that'll be a wrap, ladies and gentlemen.
Have a good night.